what they do. Forget them, for they know not what they do. The word is Elias. Elias. They don't know that Elias is the name of the angel that raised up the Essenes. That's Pharaoh. Jesus on the cross, on his dying death, called out to Pharaoh, Amenemhat the third.
That's why that right there.
Ooh, I mean, excuse me, Amos the first, aka Nugon, aka the child of the moon. That's how you know.
Mommy did it. We got off just in time.
This how you know Nugon and Amos the first are the same person. The word Nugon and the word Amose mean the same thing. They both mean child of the moon or born of the moon. At the same time, in the same place, for the same person. 1553 BC, started a new kingdom in Egypt. Amos, and we got Nugon on the throne, overthrowing who? The mother, the adopted mother and adopted sister of Moses himself, Sobek Nefru, aka Liatnis.
That's fire. So Amos, son of the moon, aka Pharaoh, aka Elias, is who Yeshua was calling on because he was the king at that time to raise up his sin, which
correct. He was talking to, and look what the sister Jamia say. Look what the sister Jamia say. So he was speaking to Moses and Pharaoh and Elias. Who did watch this? Let's go in here. Let's go in this real quick. Hold on 1 second. Where am I at?
Megaton light bombs right now. What? Cloud kicking all day. That's fire, bro. I never knew that.
I gotta stop this. Yeah. Listen. Jesus, hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Elias. And the people didn't understand what he was saying. So they thought he was calling out to Elias. They said, look, he's calling out to his forefathers. Right? No, he called out to the angelic being that it had been inspiring him his whole 36 years of life. Remember, Yeshua was the purpose, was the proof of the redemption of Pharaoh and his people.
Got to be more careful. That's fire.
Right? So he didn't know Moses. He just knew the law. But he knew Elias.
His brother.
Pharaoh. Remember, Pharaoh, when Moses find Pharaoh, he in a glaze. He been in a hell now for 300 years. He was 70, he was in hell 300 some years, in a knot like 76 years.
Jeez.
So he just saying Moses. He gone. He just in a tizzy. Well, when he get him out of that, you know what I mean, and to give him a
baptism of light,
in a sense, a way to clean up his mess.
Mm-hmm.
Moses give him the
redemption path. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Moses give him a task to redemption. Nigga, raise up these babies real quick till you can get one, till you can produce one that can hear the voice of the Creator. And I got you.
Mm-hmm.
He did that. Proof is Yeshua. This is why they hide the date that he was created, that he was born. They over 140 years too late.
Nigga, that's a beautiful redemption story. Shout out to Elias, man.
Man, let's go look at Elias.
Yeah, boy, that boy cold, man. Been doing hell not for that long. So, yeah, I get it. Let me go ahead. Get on a good foot with the creator. And then here come Yeshua running around this motherfucker telling niggas, stop killing all the creators' animals and chewing on them. What's wrong with y'all? Who told y'all to do that? Didn't y'all hear Amos and Isaiah?
What was we was just talking about? Elias, Moses.
But you know what's crazy? Yeah, we were talking about Moses and Elias's redemption.
Yeah.
That's
my dog. Oh,
that's
Moses.
Ain't that an answer? No, that's in
Check out my dog Moses real quick. Hold on. I don't like this one.
I wonder what the truth is about that whole, because we know he wasn't even crucified on no cross, right? So that whole story could be fabricated from some Greek poet.
Well, Owaspy and also Talmud says he was stoned to death.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that whole part of, I wonder what Yeshua, if Yeshua was, when he was stoned, said something about Elias or Elias, right? I wonder like what the situation really was, because
really was. Did he call out to him?
Yeah, you might have, but I don't think it was in no stuck away like they make it seem. Yeah, it would.
It makes sense.
But I don't think it was
like, think about it. If this nigga been walking with you, been around you, you done had angelic spirits around you your whole life that you can see, it would be odd that during your death they not there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would have had to step back to allow that to happen.
Well, they was there once he crossed over. He wasn't there in that moment. Yeah. But that fiery chariot showed up instantly.
Yeah.
Swoop. OT Vaughn pulled up on him.
Hold on. 1 second. Dog Sela Shelley. Young Sela Shelley. I'm a hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
What up? One with your boy.
Hey man, y'all getting it in. Y'all getting it in, man. Good conversation. Good conversation, bro. Yeah, that joint with Moses is crazy. You know what I mean? Then it's like even when you see Moses in the Bible with Yeshua going to see him on the Sabbath, going up the mountaintop, and he transfigured it and talked to him. You know, for years before Owas, I used to always be like, "Yo, what the hell Moses doing there?" I thought, you know, they got his death date in the Exodus. What he doing over here? What he doing 100 years later showing up to Yeshua? And how can Yeshua be the first fruit of life after death when Moses done crossed over and appeared to him? You know what I mean? They ain't wait for judgment day to be called up. Moses already after death coming to see Yeshua in the Bible. Ain't nobody raised that question.
That is a good question.
You know, yeah, they tell you that, and you know, judgment day is when everybody rises and everybody gonna get judged, all the prophets, everybody. But what Moses doing around, flowing around, coming back to Yeshua, 100 years after his death, according to the Bible. But then, when you goddamn get the O, and first, when you get the O, of course, you broke down the whole corpora, atmosphere, etheric. So now we have a system. You know what I mean? So for these niggas to go find Moses, like you described, it even describes the journey going to get the nigga. Yeah, we passed 3 Etherian worlds, 14 corporeal worlds, and boom, there he was in class.
Right.
You know what I mean? Real or not, just the fact that the intricate details, and then coming back to the earth, like you said, when they came and tapped the nigga on the shoulder in the classroom, I seen that, like that shit the vision just popped in my head. I just seen that shit play out. And he tapped the nigga, and the nigga said, "Damn, that's some nigga shit. That's some nigga shit." You know what I mean? That's some straight nigga shit.
Got him, boy.
But the crazy part, this is how you know this shit is higher light, because we could go back to the point in the book of the Ark of Bond when it shows Moses giving when Moses do curse Pharaoh. Yeah. Said, nigga, in this world or the after, nigga, you calling on me to
You know what I mean? To break free from the Judas that you're going to encounter after this life.
Mm-hmm.
So this nigga, we can go back on that. They would have cursed the nigga, told him right here, and this is the reason why this nigga had to come back. That Passover lamb. And then the crazy thing about it was that it's surrounding Passover, and then when he had to come back and redeem Pharaoh from hell, and then Pharaoh had to raise up one capable of hearing the voice.
Mm-hmm.
It was still based around, right? It was still based around the Israelites and their Passover, because it still coincide. So Yahshua being stoned on Passover coinciding with the original Passover, the very first Passover coming out of Egypt.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
So it's like a hard grabber. It's like an atonement to a sin.
Yeah.
Nigga, you know how sad. You know how sad Elias had to be. Elias was probably sad and pissed. That's probably why he had to get away for a little bit, because it probably brought up all that memory, you know what I'm saying, of the whole situation. And he finally got to the point where he raised up Yeshua and these niggas kill him.
Remember when they took the blinds off just a little bit, that nigga was frightening.
Yeah.
No, just remember when they had to redeem this nigga.
Here go right here, Selah. Book of Esdras 16 at 55, right? He talking. This is Moses talking to New Gone. Moses said,
right, okay, you got it. All right, go ahead.
Yep. Moses said, I will give you a new name, and I will clothe you in garments of my own making, so that they would rather flee from you than come to you. And Moses gathered up the yellow cloud-like mantle of light and made a mantle for New God, aka Amos the First, and clothed him. And he named him what?
Elias. Oh no. Am I true?
Yep, you can say it like that. Elias or Elias. The same name they said Jesus called out to on the cross. Why? Because his whole job was to raise a prophet that could hear the voice.
Here's tragic, Cosmo. The crazy thing is this. According to the masters of generation, it takes 400 years. 400 years to Yeshua, whether we dealing with the Luamung date or if we dealing with Waspi date, it's gonna bring us back to Babylonian captivity. Ezra.
You breaking up again, bro. You breaking up again, bro. Say it again. You got.
I was saying that. The masters of generation, it takes 400 years to raise one up to hear the voice.
Yeah.
So you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when we go to Yahshua, we go 400 years prior to Yahshua, whether we use the Luamung date or Waspi date, it's going to bring us to the ending of the Babylonian captivity. Around Ezra time is around spiritually what you're talking about. Niggas coming from captivity, or they while in there in captivity. Like you said, you made a good point. This may not be documented, but the Essenes would have been established during the captivity.
But it is documented, Sheila. Let me tell you how it's documented.
No. Meaning to say this. Bible don't document the faith, but meaning to say this.
Oh.
The time that the establishment of the Essenes would have took place when Jaja said, yo, I'm going to remove these 700 Israelites away from the apostate Israelites. That's what you was saying some time back. When you was like, nah, not all these niggas went into captivity.
Right.
But a small percentage of these niggas didn't go through that. So it brought me back to that establishment of Essenes, because if the Essenes was an established group during the time of captivity, they was never enslaved.
Exactly.
So that got to be accounted for. The establishment of the Essenes was during the Babylonian captivity, would have been around that time period. So who are these Israelites that's not in slavery
Well,
that's coming from this lineage, coming from out of the Essenes. Yahshua and them. That whole family tree.
We gotta remember, this is in the 300, 400 years after the beginning of the Ark of Bomb. Right? So the 1,000 years would be roughly from 1153 to 1145 BC to 1,000 years to 145, 146, 153 BC in that area 1,000 years later. Now, during that time, you done had not only you coming out of Egyptian captivity, you had Assyrian, you had Persian, you had the Medes, and the Babylonians, and the Greeks. By that time, by 146 in the birth of Yeshua, but this is the dope part.
Oh yeah, that was dead.
Yeah, so the whole time that them people is going in into captivity, there is a people outside of them called the Essenes, right? Who are breeding a prophet that in 1,000 years is gonna pop up on the scene. Now, C-Law broke it down to y'all that it take about 400 years to build one of these dudes, right? Create one of these years. Well, it was 1,000 years in between the time of the prophets to Yeshua. Right? That's 1,000 years. So what was I about to say? Owaspy is dope, really, because it give you the breakdown of who the quote unquote lesser prophets would have been. You dig what I'm talking about? In the same time, and who came at that time that would have had that power in them in the midst of them times, and we call them dudes prophets, right? It gives you that understanding who they was, who Elijah really is. You dig what I'm talking about? Who Isaiah really was.
And how they come to be, man, that's so fire, bro. The fact that Owaspy breaks down the Louis and the masters of the generations that work to produce prophets and seers and Aisu, like, and it's not it makes perfect sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I love that part of it too, man. And it inspires me to continue to walk in the light, because these men were under the inspiration of billions of righteous angels encamped around them on watches every couple of 4 hours or whatever. They switching up and coming to inspire, bro. That's literally happening in real time as we speak right now. You said what, big bro?
Ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed.
No. I was just going in. I was just saying, like, those. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the system in order of how the unseen world and the heavens and the spiritual worlds function. We didn't have no prior knowledge of this because we were just, you know what I'm saying? We were just in the mix of things in church and religion. But once that Owaspy hit and Creator activated that voice, just like Yeshua was built, I wasn't gonna say engineer, but his DNA code was literally inspired by angels.
You basically say that.
Huh?
Literally, basically say he was engineered because, you know, his forefathers had to prepare. That was a preparation. You know what I mean? That was a 400-year engineering coming together. You know what I mean?
That's fire, man. And even to
so
us,
it's like this. Yeah, them masters of generations got to work around 500-600 BC, talking about, all right, around the first century, y'all gonna raise one up. Nigga ain't gonna be Yahshua. Go ahead and get to work. And then Pharaoh got to working.
Yeah.
Nigga, Moses came to check on the nigga like, yo, your labor, you done? You ready? You're like, yo, how much more I got to go, nigga? You know, what's up? I see you done raised up when let me go and redeem you. Yo, there's so many layers to that shit, bro.
Man, it's beautiful layers to it too. Beautiful layers to it. That's why I love it.
Selah. Dig this. He say, and Moses gathered up the yellow cloud-like mantle of light and made a mantle for Nugon and clothed him and named him Elias, signifying servant of light. And after that, Elias was provided with 10,000 co-laborers assisted by Gephaniah and sent back to the earth on his mission. So he got a mission. His mission was to raise up an Aisu. That Aisu historically is known as
Exactly. Yeshua.
You dig what I'm saying now?
That's
look at this.
That's the crazy part.
And look, and so who is Pharaoh? Pharaoh is Elias, right? Meaning now Pharaoh, look, and God appointed 100 messengers to Pharaoh so that word could be transmitted every month to paradise, right? Boom. So Pharaoh Nugon, aka Amos the First, has a new name, Elias. This is what Owaspi is saying. So it's crazy that if he speak Hebrew, right, the Hebrew people speaking people around him would have been able to understand his tongue and would have understood exactly who he was calling to if the Israelites were Hebrews, but they're not. Right? They didn't speak Hebrew. They spoke Aramaic. And this is why they misheard him. Let me show you what you're talking about, Cosmon, that they misheard him. Let's show what the Christians say themselves. Right? Why would the witnesses of the crucifixion think Jesus was calling out for Elijah? Right? The people that's around him don't know if he calling the God or Elijah. But do this sound like Elijah? No. Mark 15:35. Witnesses of the crucifixion thought Jesus was calling for Elijah after he says, Eloah, Eloah. My God, my God. Eliah, Eliah. Lima Shabachthani. My God, why have thou forsaken me? Why would this statement evoke thoughts of Elijah in people's watching? Because he was speaking in a language they weren't speaking. He was speaking what the real Israelites spoke, Aramaic, the wannabe Levitical hanger-on Jews, right? Those people with the Bible, the people with the Talmud, the people with the text that claim that they Israels, right? Usurping a history that ain't their own, right? They speak Hebrew. The Babylonian speaks Hebrew. The Edomian speaks Hebrew. The Sidonian speaks Hebrew.
Hey, the modern day Hebrew script that you have today comes out of the Assyrian square script.
Yep. First century Samaritan.
That's a direct.
Yep.
Right.
First century
actually, the Samaritan script is closer to the Paleo-Hebrew. The Assyrian square script is them strangers that you talking about, them Babylonians, them what you said, the hanger-ons.
Yeah, the Leviticans.
The Leviticans, that's them niggas.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the crazy thing. Assyrians and Babylonians lived in Israel under the command of a Babylonian. Because, it got the stories where, the lion kept eating one of them niggas or whatever, and they had to send one of the Israelite priests to stop the lions from eating them niggas up. But those were Assyrians living in the land, and Babylonians living in the land.
Yeah, that's in the Book of Kings. Yeah,
Them niggas never left.
right. So they
Exactly. That's in the Book of
assimilated into
Kings
the
and
Assyrian
Nehemiah as
culture.
well.
And didn't Daniel say
Right.
that they lost all their language and their writings, and they lost the Torah and all that stuff? Well, whose language did you come back speaking? You came back speaking Hebrew.
Right, from the Babylonian inspiration.
But that ain't what you went in with.
Mm. That's crazy.
So you got
man.
a mixture
I
of
remember, bro. You know what's
Babylonian.
crazy, cuz I remember, man, when I first, came into that Hebrew movement, and I was just so excited to have the original language, and I learned the whole Hebrew language, man. Taught myself all to find out, man. Nigga got it Hebrew, but
It's the same shit, Joe.
Yeah, it's just another link in the chain.
Right.
So look, you got Assyrians, Babylonians assimilated in the first century. By the time Yeshua on the scene, right, the time first century rolled around, you got that melting pot in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they always depicting these when you look at some of these movies and shit, how they depict the Jews with the long beards and basically how they, the Ashkenazis look and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's interesting, because you got these niggas thinking, the Sadducees, the scribes, all these niggas is Levites, but these niggas are melting pot of Babylonian Syrians, along with some of the mixture of the Judeans that came back, and like you say, the Samaritans.
Facts.
That's mixture of that. In captivity.
Your phone breaking up, Selah. Your phone breaking up
The
again.
Assyrians, all right, I'm out here in Florida and shit driving.
Say it again.
But now the Assyrian captivity, when they went into captivity, they came back first before the Babylonians, and it was during that time when they came back, like I think it's in Kings, but I know it's in Nehemiah when it talks about the Assyrians coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the so-called northern tribes coming back, but they came back with the Assyrians.
Right. And they was getting
a lot
ate
of
up.
them stayed in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but by the time the Babylonian captivity happens, and by the time the Babylonian Israelites come back into Israel to rebuild Judea, the Samaritans was actually, let me help y'all niggas build Jerusalem, and the Judean Israelites like, nah, nigga, we don't want y'all help. Boom.
Right.
So it's something them niggas, man, y'all niggas ain't even from the bloodline. Y'all niggas, the Assyrians, y'all just occupying the land due to the king. I forgot the Babylonian. I'm like, that's what the niggas the permission to come back to the land.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's historical fact. They assimilated them Negroes, them Hebrew Negroes, the Leviticans assimilated with them Assyrians during that time period, and they got the language because all their books was burnt up. Their culture was overrun with Babylonian culture. Only the real ones, obviously, the faithists kept it with 100 with the Creator.
Mm-hmm. And but you got to understand is none of those people. This is where we got to get to though. None of those people that went in captivity were in fact Israelites. None of them. Not one.
Right.
Remember, the real Israelites had been taken away at the fall of Escra. Right?
Ooh, you should read
Besides the people that were with Moses, right? That went west and had been gone 400 years. They had been gone 400 years. And they went west.
Right.
Across northern Africa. So who is these niggas in the east being enslaved?
Wow.
So
that's wild.
So we talking about from the fall of the Bronze Age collapse to the Maccabean War. to the time of the Maccabees during the Hasmonean dynasty. It's 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm. There had to be a remnant of true Israelites somewhere over there, though, ain't it? Because the where did they come? Well, I don't know. I'm tripping. Oh, you talking about that time period? That's what you're saying. That's
Yeah. But what I'm saying
during that time they was all to the west.
Period, they're gearing up. Remember, the prophets went to the Leviticans. They didn't live with the Leviticans. Prophets were always raised up and brought to the people.
Right.
Prophets only come out the real Israelites, not the people who were never genetically Israelites.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because I was thinking about during that time, once Moses and them went west, like you said, the remnant, whoever was still there, couldn't have been true Israelites. You feel me?
But am I saying that
that there wasn't no faithist? No.
No, that the people didn't interbreed with the people along the way in North Africa. No, I'm not saying that. As a matter of fact, Creator says the opposite, that he created these people to be the traveling people to go and teach the world.
Right, that's facts. Yeah.
And he also says he's going to use even the apostate Jews and Israelites to breed up a group of people who don't believe in the false gods and that, you dig what I'm talking about? It's different than how the Catholic Church is telling us, and we see that in the Protestant Reformation. This is where you get your Baptists, your AMEs, or all this stuff, your Universalists, everything of that is a result of that. But look, I want y'all to notice this. It's not only the same name. I'm telling y'all, it's the same letters. Elias. Now let's go look at that old King James version, because it say Elias or Elias, not Elijah. Look, the Berean Bible says Elijah. The New King James say Elijah. The New Standard says Elijah. But the original King James says what? Elias. Huh? Look.
Same letters.
Same letters. All you got to do is switch the A and the I. I mean, the E and the I. And, you know what I mean? And put it where the A is. You just move the I on the other side of the L's and move the E to the front. It's Elias. It's the same name. Phonetically the same name.
So, in fact, Yeshua was hollering at Big Bro.
That's all. That's the only nigga he would have known.
Elias.
That's the only nigga he known. That's who he would have been speaking to.
Yeah, it makes sense, bro. After all the things we just went over, that makes perfect objective real sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeshua wasn't just, he was calling out.
How they thought he called out, and then look, you can still see that they confused hundreds and thousands of years later, because they can't even agree on who he called to. They don't know if he called to Elijah or Elias. And remember, we saying this story is faulty, but much of it is built upon true historical narratives of the prophets.
Yep. Records get twisted.
Y'all see how it changed?
See how the records get twisted? Shout out to the undergrads.
You see what I'm saying? You see how it changed? The real, the cut and dry.
Real thing this.
The cut and dry for the King James says Elias. Well, he would have said Elias. Why did thou forsake me? Because nigga, I know you ain't the creator. I know you just like the rest of these spooks that I see every day around here. Right? I don't praise you either. But nigga, you've been telling me since I was a child. Why you let him get me like this? I'm sure he had them questions. Because I don't believe that they hung him on the cross. The proof of that is what we know today as the juggernaut. Because if your prophet gets hanged on the Upsa, if your prophet gets hanged on yo, bless you.
Bless you.
Dang, bless you. Dang.
Hey, yo, Cos.
Yo.
Hey, yo, Cosmo.
Yo.
Yo, check, yo, look this up, yo. Because you may be on this, see if Constantine electing the gods, Council of Nicaea, Elias' name is in that bounty, in that about.
Say it again.
Because nigga, if that shit is, you know, when Luamon got Constantine to do the Council of Nicaea, and they were selecting the gods, that part.
Okay.
See if Elias' name is in there as one of the registered gods.
Oh,
because if it is, that'll even be more. Yeah, that. Right, you know, they selected the prophet and they selected the god.
Yeah. Hold on.
So I'm like, nigga, if that nigga name is on that shit, bro, that's a game changer. I'm not saying it is, but it just came to my mind when you brought that up. I'm like, yo, because not seeing them would have been responsible for compiling that shit.
Yo, the Nicene Council. Hold on. Dang. I'm trying to remember where that's at. Nicene Council is Book of Esdras.
That's in Esdras, try around 42. It may be a little bit before 42. I think 42 Yahshua. I know Yahshua was in like 40s or something. It may be a little bit before that.
His what was his name?
Hey, big bro, I gotta put my phone in charger real quick. I'm gonna tap back in a second.
Okay.
All right, peace to God, peace to the chat, man.
All right, back in. Safe it up.
Okay.
Gang.
Hold on. Here you go, C-La. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, because we're gonna get to that. Boom. And what? Luamon cried out, enough, old Thoth, Gabriel. I too will have a mortal emperor descend again to the earth to Hatuas, aka Constantine, and inspire him to raise a mortal army of 40,000 men and move upon Rome. Right? So let's go down here to.
Yeah, you got to skip up a couple of chapters probably from there. It's like right after the Battle of Malivian Bridge is when they go right into it.
Yep, they killed Ball and all them. Now look, here it goes.
That's crazy how that shit documented. Go ahead.
Watch this. You own the something. And now the council, this is Nicaea, had brought with them in all 2,231 books and legendary tales of gods and saviors and great men, together with a record of the doctrines taught by them. Hatuas, or Constantine, being under the inspiration of Luamon through Gabriel, alias Thoth. Right? This is your Allah. Right? Your Jibril.
That's right.
Right? He is the little dog over Constantine, who is working for Christ. So let that sink in. Allah is working for Christ to write the Bible.
Oh shit! Yo, them niggas are stoners to death because of what we saying out of our mouth
What?
and not knowing the fucking
Allah
text.
works for Christ. He worked for Christ to write the Bible. Right? It says searching these
That's
books.
beyond their pay grade.
It says searching these books, whatever is good, retain, but whatever is evil, cast away. What is good in one book, unite that with what is good in another book. And whatever is thus brought together shall be called the book of books, or what we call today the Bible. And it shall be the doctrine of my people, which I will recommend to all nations. This is Constantine, so that there shall be no more war. I mean, God speaking to the false God speaking to Thoth Gabriel, which I will recommend to all nations, so that there should be no more war for religious sake. Ain't that what Christianity said it was warring for? Thoth Gabriel, his angels, surrounded the mortal council. This is the council of Nicaea, 1,000 angels deep on every side and extending upward densely for a long way. And then by a line of light extending to the false Christ, Luamon's throne in Hapsindi, his heavenly kingdom. Now let's drop down. So we know what's going on. Now let's go see who they throw up. Okay. Now he say what they doing, right? They trying to pick which God and which prophet is gonna be for which God and what the name's gonna be.
Right.
For 4 years, 7 months, the council thus delivered 4 years and 7 months. The council thus deliberated and selected from the 2,231 books and legendary tales. And at the end of that time, there have been selected and combined much of what was good and great and worded so as to be well remembered by mortals. As yet, no God had been selected by the council, and so they balloted in order to determine that matter. And the first ballot gave prominence to the following gods. So they choosing the name: Jove, Jupiter, Silenus, Baal, Thor, Gade, Apollo, Juno, Ares, Taurus, Minerva, Rex, Mithra, Theo, Phragapati, Attis, Durga, Indra, Neptune, Vulcan, Christ, Agni, Croesus, Pylades, Hut, Hermes, Tullus, Thomas, Aegyptus, Io, Aph, Saturn, Gichens, Minos, Maximo, Hecla, and Pyrenees. Now, besides these, there were 22 other gods and goddesses that received small numbers in votes. And so they balancing out what they're going to do. And in 7 more days, a ballot was taken, and the number of gods was reduced to 21. Thus, the number was reduced each ballot, but slower and slower. 6 days in a week, they were allotted to discuss the merits and demerits of each gods, and on the 7th day, they balloted. But many weeks elapsed towards the last when the number was not reduced. For 1 year and 5 months, the ballot lasted. And at that time, the ballot rested nearly equally on 5 gods. Listen, namely Jove, Christ, Mars, Crete, and Shiva. And here the ballot did not change for the next 7 times. So that's another dang near 2 months. So Hatuus or Constantine spoke before the council in Nicaea, saying, "Ours is a labor for the nations of earth and for all times. I know the angels of heaven are with us in this matter, and we have found 5 gods, good and acceptable before the world. What do you say, council, that the angels give us a sign? For we all know what? We all know the angels' signs for these gods. Remember, Constantine was shown a sign of his God, which was what, Selah Shalom?
That's that Kaya and that Rizzo.
That Kizzle and that Rizzo. What y'all calling that the cross? What y'all calling the cross? He was shown the fire in the row. So they know who sign it is. And this is how you get the name Christ. And the name of the group is now Christians because they chose the name Christ to be their God. Watch this. The council said, watch this. It says, for we all know the angel signs of these specific gods. The council said, well said, Constantine, you are the wisest of men. Such a God shall be our God now and forever. And watch this. And immediately. Now remember, Luamong, the false Christ, right, is already inspiring all these niggas. Who you think he gonna pick? Huh?
That's right.
Yourself? Watch this. And immediately, watch this. And immediately, there and then, Luamong and his angels gave a sign in fire of what? A cross smeared with blood, and it rested on a bull's horns like a cloud of fire, like a cloud of fire on a cloud of fire. And what?
That's crazy.
At this, Christ was declared God and Lord of all the nations. So don't let them niggas tell you that they wasn't going in the council of Nicaea trying to choose up and pick up which God they was gonna serve. Yes, they was. And right. And look, and the council agreed to this unanimously. And moreover, to reject all other gods. So this is how the Christians become Christians. Because the God declared through the council that he was going to take the name Christ, meaning most high knowledge. Bless you. Dang, bless you. Right? And it said the council agreed with this unanimously. And the next question was, here you go, Selah. The next question was, what mortal representative should be chosen for the God? Excuse me. Who do they tell us the mortal representation of the Christian God is? They even tell you he is the God.
Right.
Your shoe. Huh? They tell you it's Jesus. But remember, the name is Iesus. Right? Iesus is those mega prophets, those dudes that heard the words but did the miracles too. They are Iesu. Huh? The next question was, what is the mortal representation of this God we just picked called Christ? Who he gonna be? The first ballot brought about the following men: Zarathustra, Dophma, right? The first monotheist, Zarathustra,
right?
The man who built the pyramids, Dophma, aka Khufu, aka Cheops, aka Jedefre. He's all the same man. Abraham, Brahma, Otis, Thomas, who? Yeshua. That's real Yeshua. the story about the thing in Gethsemane and the preaching on the mount? That's a real story. But it's almost 150 years too late. Well, it's over 200 years too late from the time Yeshua was actually born in 146 BC, and then he died 36 years later in 110. Then when we actually get the story written down in its earliest, really about the 60s, 70s AD or CE. So we about 200 years later. All the stories were backdated, but now we see them, they just picking. They're going to give you some of Zarathustra. How we it's going to come out to be Jesus? Because you got stories of Zarathustra in Jesus' story. You got the stories of Bali and Krishna in Jesus' story. You got the story of Sakaya, who y'all know is Buddha, the real Gautama Buddha. And the story of Jesus, not Yeshua. Yeshua is a real man. Jesus is a literary invention taken of all these people. Zarathustra, Thothma, Abraham, Brahma, Attis, Thomas, Yoshu, Sakaya, Hebron, Kriti, Bali, Krishna, Tulis, Vitoba, Spio. We've heard of every single one of them. Besides these, there were included in the ballot 46 other niggas who received a small number of ballots each. It's not what they're telling you. Right? And look, to show y'all where we at, that we in the Council of Nicaea and we on topic, right? Did we see Elijah? No, we didn't see Elijah. But we seen Yeshua. I'm just showing in the text. Hold on 1 second. I'm just showing in the text Elias, and that Moses turned around and named Pharaoh Elias, and that on his dying words, right, he called out, the people thought he called out to Elias, not Elijah. That's who Jesus would have been talking to his whole life. Elias, Pharaoh. That would have been a direct angel to inspire him. The direct one. Right? So let's get back to it. Behold, the Council of Nicaea balloted for 12 months as to what man heard the voice. Do you say Jehovah sends his matter to a council of men? This is true God asking at the time. Nigga, you think the creator of sun, moon, and stars asks lowly Negroes anything? You think he send it before men and say, hey, see if that's all right for me? That's what God is asking. Constantine said, the gods will not let us choose a man. Right? The gods will not let us choose a man. Right? Now, therefore, hear me. This is what he came to as a compromise. He said, now hear me. All the lawgivers, listen, all the lawgivers. This is Constantine. This is what he knows. All the lawgivers chosen by the gods have been Aisu. Uh-oh. What do they call Jesus? Huh? In the King James Bible? Aisu. Huh? Now, so he coming up with a compromise. Now, since we cannot make a preference as to a man, let us just say the man. Aisu. What do Owaspi got to say about this? It says, Latin ultimately shifted the initial I to a J, not just Iesu to Jesu or Iesus to Jesus, but in other words as well, i.e. Jupiter to Jupiter, Ionus to Janus, Ino to Juno, etc. The word Iesu was used in the Vulgate, which was St. Jerome's Latin translation of the Christian Bible from Hebrew into Latin in the late 300 CE. Now, right here, hold on. Let's go back. Right. So he said, listen, we done named all these niggas all this time, and we can't come up with no specific person who all it is. And remember, we combining all this stuff anyway, y'all. Right? We combining all this stuff up, y'all. So what we know is all the prophets have been Iesus, right? So instead of just naming one, why don't we just call the man Iesu? And they was like, See, now, since we can't make a preference on as to who the physical representation or the mortal representation of the God should be, aka the prophet, let us just say the man, the prophet, because that's what an Aisu is. See, so the name Aisu was adopted and the sacred books were written accordingly. Watch this. Watch what this is. But let's get to what Owaspi got to say about this story of this invented character, this invented Ayasu named Jesus. Watch this. Note, regarding this fabricated story of the representative Aisu, that indeed, for the whole of the time period from this supposed birth to his supposed crucifixion, there is no statement in the available Roman records mentioning a Jesus as identified by the Christian story. Hold on. Where I'm from, we call them Hadoukens. Yeah, that's a Hadouken. Regarding this fabricated story of this represented Iesu or Jesus, that indeed, for the whole of the time period from this supposed birth, right, at 0 AD, to his supposed crucifixion, 33, 30, however many years, there is no statement in the available Roman records mentioning a Jesus as identified by the Christian story. Right? Those are facts. Look it up. Look it up. So the name Iesu was adopted and the sacred books were written accordingly. So watch this. This is interesting. Look what Owaspi said. God, son of the creator, said, the council of Nice did not sin, for the doctrine set forth as Iesus were for creator. Listen, your creator is smarter than you. So he can even see the good when you're doing something negative. Ain't that dope? See, the Council of Nice did not sin per se, for the doctrine set forth as Iesus, set forth as Jesus, were for the Creator. But where their words made worshipful the names of Christ and the Holy Ghost, behold, that matter was with Luamong, aka the false Christ. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. So the fact that they had all these names into the creation of the backstory of this invented Jesus character, right, lets you know why the themes can they ring across the world, because everybody got a little of this or some of that, or I got a story that sounds like this, or I heard this is something similar to that. Why? Because the stories themselves were taken from a myriad of actual men that lived and melded together, re-rocked, repackaged, and resold to us as religion. And this is why you calling Jesus Christ to this day, not understanding that Christ is the God that Jesus prayed to. See, they be lost. They act like Christ's last name or something. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? What they can't do is get past the fact when you show them that it say Elias right there, right? And this is Jesus calling out to him and the so-called Hebrew people, right? That's around them. Because remember, it's the Jews and the Hebrews that's killing him. They're killing him and using the Romans to do it. Right? So that's who's standing around him. Besides his little homeboys and his little cronies. You dig what I'm talking about? He called out to the only and the highest angelic spirit he knew. Elias. Right? And even the people thought, dang, this nigga is calling out for Elias. So, they didn't even understand exactly what he was saying because he's not of those people. Right? He are the real Israelites.
That's crazy.
Them boys that have been like in Qumran, and you dig what I'm talking about? And I'm not even sure that they the real truth. You know what I mean? But they had the Dead Sea Scroll guys had a little different type of testimony at the time. You dig what I'm talking about? What they was going through was a little different.
Yeah, so, the Dead Sea Scrolls, different time periods too.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So they could have had a different type of thing going on. But we know for a fact the Israelites wasn't enslaved. The Jews were. Who was it? Who came out in control in Babylon? Wasn't it and in Judea, which was under control of Rome? Wasn't it the Pharisees and the Sadducees?
The sad niggas you see?
Man, They're the ones killed Jeebus. You dig what I'm saying? So that should let you know they wasn't the same people either way. And
they show you that too.
That was against them. The only thing that was really against him is because he wasn't teaching God. He was teaching Creator.
Right.
You know what
and that's what I'm saying. Your boy Paul had to been a direct inspiration from Louisville. Now that everything is put out there, because Paul never met the nigga. Paul is out here preaching Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When Paul went to go visit James and them, James was like, yo, y'all, you preaching something different. That's in that nigga own writings.
Right. And then remember, who telling the story? First person we get to hear that story from. First person we get to hear that story from is Marcion. I'm saying, I think Paul becomes a person. He's a literary invention. He's not, in fact, real. He's based on a understanding. Remember, the dude in the first century who was actually doing all these works that is in the historical record was at the destruction of Jerusalem. He was there. The dude that they said did all these miracles and then turned around and in his exile wrote the letters that they so-called that they attribute to John is Apollonius. But
you know what's crazy, yo? Them niggas, yo, you know what? Niggas ain't never touch on Apollonius on side, yo.
Nope. They can't.
You notice that? Niggas ain't even up on it yet. Niggas don't know about the Apollonius, though. Niggas ain't ready for the Apollonius. But go ahead, though.
They don't even know. So, this excuse me, this guy is documented, proven in the historical record, and it is his records in the first century. Because remember, Josephus, Paul, none of them, John, none of them are writing in Hebrew.
Oh, them niggas that shit.
They're writing in Greek and Latin, right? I'm talking about Paul, Mark, all of them writing in Greek and Latin. Not one of them wrote in the word of Hebrew. Well, where did Hebrew come from? And remember, the real Israelites, like Jesus, like the people of the first century BC, the Essenes, right? Like the people of the first century AD, you dig what I'm talking about? None of them spoke Hebrew. They all spoke Aramaic and had since the Hasmonean dynasty. So they saying they translated the Greek and the Latin from Hebrew, but real, true bloodline practicing Nazarene Israelites never spoke or wrote in Hebrew. So where and who did you get these gospel letters from? Only person we know about writing in Samaritan Hebrew in the first century that is old enough and was actually there, documented in history, people seen them, was Apollonius Italiana. Ooh-wee. They can't get around it. They can't get around it. So remember, Apollonius's name in Greek is Paulus. It's Paulus, Paul, U.S. Paulus. It is my belief and my understanding through the study of the text, Marcion in the 120s, 130s takes the gospel brought from Sumatra, right? Because remember, Polyaenus went into deep India, into Sumatra, and pulled out what they call the Gospels of Paul, which are really just the life lessons of Krishna. He brought that back with him from India, right? So he had his Thomas, he had his Titus, named Thomas, a nigga that walked with him and recorded it just like Paul did. But remember, Apollonius is Paulus. So what is a follower of Paulus called? A Paul. I believe through my studies, Marcion conflates the story of the followers of Apollonius, right? And it may not even be him doing it, because remember, at the time, Marcion had a beef.
Well, hold up, wasn't Apollonius one of the names listed in the council?
I don't think so. Wait a minute. It was Apollo. It was Apollo. But
that was one of the. That may have been one of the gods, I think. I forget.
Yeah, it was one of the gods. You're right. Hold on. You're right. It's up here. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And so Marcion in a beef with Lucian, right? Lucian is a satirist. What y'all gotta understand is, over time, the stories of Marcion converts into Mark. And the stories of Luke, a satirist, of Lucian, become the stories of Luke. This is why Luke's version of Jesus' life, he give you the child stories and all that crazy stuff that ain't in no other version. It's only in Luke. The haters, over time, the haters' version of the story got into the Bible. Lucian was hating on Marcion, who wrote his own version of the Bible. It didn't even have no Old Testament.
Yeah, he considered the ultimate god a demigod, Joe.
Yeah. So it is Marcion who embodies the followers of Paulus, aka Apollo, as Paul. And then he ties it with this the everyday nigger struggle of the everyday person in Rome, which is called a Peregrinus. And out of this story, you get the story of Peregrinus, who sets himself on fire in the circus, offers himself up to the peoples as a offering, and sets itself on fire. But a Peregrinus is a person who is not of Roman blood, but is a Roman citizen. The everyday nigga. So they took the story, mythologized it, and put a nigga named Paul in the role of Peregrinus, and this is how Paul is born a goddamn Roman. He told them, I didn't pay. The centurion said, I paid to become a Roman. Paul said, I didn't pay to become this. I was born a Roman.
Like I said, I'm a natural born citizen, which ties him back to the goddamn agreement that his forefather made Antipater with goddamn Caesar when they captured goddamn Egypt during a battle over there and agreed to that. I'll give your descendants free Roman citizenship.
And this is why
Josephus and then Paul
does it. Hold on. This is why Josephus does it. This is why Josephus twists the claim. This is how, and Marcion was smart enough to see it. This is how he twists up the claim. Because he ties Saulus of the house of Herod to Paul. Huh? Don't Saul become Paul in history?
Exactly. Saulus.
Huh? So we gotta remember what the hell we looking at. It gotta be real. If you're gonna tell me you walked on water, somebody better have seen you raise the dead, man. If it ain't no text.
Yeah.
Right? If it ain't no text, you telling me you walked on water. Ain't no text that nobody seeing you walked on water. Right? But they got text that you did all the rest of the stuff. It might be likely that you did that too. Because Polyonus brought people back from the dead. He even explained it ain't even that hard. Am I lying?
That shit was crazy. Hey, and he showed you how he did it.
He showed you
how many niggas gonna try to do that? You know what I mean? That shit is wild. So that shit deep, man.
Y'all better understand what y'all talking about when y'all playing with this spirit. This stuff ain't no joke. You could play around and lose. This is real talk. You can play around and lose your soul. You can have a demonic spirit so strong on you that it pushes your soul down and literally takes over your body. They call that reincarnation today. Y'all didn't even know that.
Engraftment too.
Engraftment too. Obsession and possession. It's a difference, though.
You explained that the whatchamacallit was explaining that earlier when he was talking about with the flesh diet, how mortals they graft themselves back on the living. I mean, how the spirits engraft themselves back on the living and eat the atmospheric parts.
Fact. Eat the atmospheric.
That was a good breakout.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you say, that still coincides because if the nigga engraft himself on you, it starts suppressing your native born spirit. Start telling niggas like, yeah, son, I was such and such in the 1600s. You go look the nigga up and he was telling you the truth. And you're like, you know, the old people are coming back now, being reborn. Like, those nigga is possessed. This nigga ain't got nothing to do but to sit around and tell you that, hey, he drinking a bad spirit, talking about who he used to be. You know how you meet bums on the street? They talk about who they used to be and shit for a hot minute. Yeah, it's lingering on niggas, pressing their native spirits, telling niggas like, yeah, nigga, I was around when Abraham Lincoln was around. Yeah, matter of fact, I was the day he got shot. You know, my name is such and such. You know what I mean? But it's your partner talking to you and shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Niggas up on it. Jehovah say, yo, that shit happen right daily. Spirits move through niggas daily. You know what I mean? That's that shit. I know because I study myself. All right, boom, I did that. All right, cool. All right, boom. All right, let me check that dude. All right, I was rolling over here. You know what I mean? Spirits running through niggas. In and out, in and out.
Watch this. And then to show that, you know, that the biblical, even the dang. Let me bring that back up. C-Law. To show that you hitting on point, and we both over here standing on it. Watch this. So the messenger from heaven stayed until the child was born. They talking about Jesus. They talking about Yeshua. Acquainting who? Who?
Speak on it.
Where does, if every other Bible say Elijah, but the very first one say, that's written in English, say Elias, where did the idea that Elias is there come from? Huh? Y'all didn't even know Elias and Moses is homeboys. And Elias ain't Elias. This is how you know Jesus talked to a whole, Yeshua talked to a whole nother nigga. He never spoke to Elias. Never. But Elias is Elias. You see it?
There it is.
The idea that because certain books say Elijah was there. Elijah was on the mountain, wasn't he? With Moses. They don't tell you, and then they only tell you it's 3 people up there. It's 4. So messengers from heaven stayed until the child was born, equating Elias, Pharaoh of the time ahead when Moses and Elias, with their host, would come to complete the deliverance of the spirits of the Egyptians. They got delivered too. As much as Elias was working, his people were rising. Elias said, thank the Creator. He said, thank the Creator, I shall once upon look upon the Moses' face. When the birth was completed, talking about Yeshua, the angels of heaven re-entered their starship and hastened back to paradise, God's heavenly seat. When Yeshua was grown up, ready for, God provided a host of 100 million angels. So they would have had to step away from this nigga for him to get killed. This is why he called off to Elias. And God provided a guardian host of 2 billion to protect the line of connection and communication between true God and Yeshua. Then came Moshe. This is what they talking about. Where they get Elijah from? Elijah ain't even on the mountain. And then, Rick, I want y'all to recognize it's 4 people here. Then came Moses from his realms, accompanied by Elias. So that's Moses and Elias, and a sufficient host. And he came to paradise, to God on the throne, where due preparation had been made for them. For the heavenly kingdoms of God were stirred from center to circumference when it was heralded abroad that Moses and Elias were coming. Woo-hoo. And paradise was like a new heaven. Hold on. Here go the rising up of the Egyptians. Then Moses and Elias went up and sat on the throne of God. Who? Moses and Elias went to God, the Son of the Creator, and sat on whose throne? The throne of God. Who he get it from? Him, daddy. Him upstairs. He got it from the Creator. God is the son of the Creator. Goddess is the daughter of the Creator. God ain't no more than what you and I gonna be. But look, he's just holding a position. They going to sit on this nigga chair. If he got a chair, that mean he got an ass. That mean he a nigga. So God ain't no better than me and you. He's just more focused. And God proclaimed a file in which hundreds of millions, thousands of millions, filed past the throne of God in order to look upon Moses' face. And Moses stood up before them. Moses said that it should bring back a memory. I remember standing on the earth while the host came up out of Egypt, passed before me. Great Jehovah, the symbols of things you give, and ever with new thrill of joy to the soul, O you Almighty. And look, notice he not praising God. He praising the creator of God. That was all he said. But so great was the love and glory on his face. He stood up on the throne and got he moved him up. Okay. Now, and after that, Moses and his remaining host descended to the earth to Canaan, northern Africa. Everything that is the land of Canaan is the land of from Babylon to Timbuktu. It's northern Africa. It's not one place. It's not just the Levant. When they try to tell you that's just the land of Canaan, they're wrong. Remember, Canaan was given the northern part of Ham, the northern part of the land from Ham. Ham is Africa. So the northern part of Africa is Canaan, all of it. Now most of it is desert. But at one time it was lush. So all of the Sahara, all of the Arabian desert, all of it is Canaan. All the way from the Zagros to the Atlantic. Right? So when they say he went down to Canaan or Canaan, you dig what I'm talking about? Don't think it's just this little itty bitty little area in the Levant. No, he's talking about northern Africa. That's from the Zagros Mountains through all the Sahara Desert and all that, the Arabian Peninsula onto the African continent, all of that. It's all Ham. Right? So he descended to the earth to northern Africa, Canaan, to the tribes of the Essenes, who had been raised up by who? So who Jesus? Real Yeshua, he out of the tribe of the Essenes, who were Nazarenes, strict Israelite. Who raised up them Essenes all the way to Jesus? Pharaoh, Elias. So when he called out to him, that's all he would have known. Remember, this is an Iesu. He sees him. He can talk to him. They right there, just like a real nigga. Sitting like you riding in the car, you driving this, somebody in the seat right there. Yes, it would look just like that. Especially to an Iesu. He was seeing all the dead men around us. Huh? Watch this. After that, Moses and his remaining hosts descended to the earth, him and Elias, to Canaan, to northern Africa, to the tribes of the Essenes, who had been raised up by Elias, who is Pharaoh. And great was the meeting between Elias and Moses. The former broke down in emotion and said, all praise to you, O Creator. You have remembered me at last. Moses came to him and said, look, what'd he say? Moses came to him, Elias, Pharaoh, and said, I have come for you, O Nugan. Amos the first. That's what he would have said. Nugan, Amos means same thing. I have a place prepared for you and your host in my Ethiopian kingdoms. You have done well. Then Moses and his host drew up their otavan down to the angel camp, which was near the camp of the mortals, the Essenes, and they made the light fall upon the boat. And many of the Essenes looked up and saw the otavan, calling it a chariot. This is the wheel of Ezekiel. And Moses and Elias, Moses and Elias, who with them? Who with him? Huh? Moses came to him and said, I have come for you, O Nugan. Huh? Then Moses drew, bless you. Bless you. Dang.
Excuse me.
Then Moses drew their otavan down to the angel camp, which was near the camp of the mortals, the Essenes, and they made the light fall upon the boat. Many of the Essenes looked up and saw the otavan, calling it a chariot. And Moses and Elias went and stood before Yeshu. He saw them. Remember they tell you about the story of transfiguration on the mountain? Right. Moses said to him, my son, the light of the Creator is upon you. Israel, through you shall regain the all one which was lost. Then who? Then Moses and his host, together with who? Elias and his host at the otavan. That's 4 people. Went into the otavan and immediately took course for the paradise. God's heavenly sea, where they arrived in due season. And after 3 days, they again re-entered the fire ship and took course for Moses' Ethiopian realms. Right? Then it go into the death of the real Yeshua. We don't never say Yeshua ain't real. We just telling y'all that the representation of God on earth given to us through the biblical text is a literary invention. He's not real. He was made up of the amalgamation of a bunch of different prophets. A bunch of them. Like, for instance, like you saying, well, give us an instance, Cosmo. All right. Well, instance that you could look for that the story of Zarathustra was taken, or Jesus's part of Jesus's life was taken from other prophets, right? For instance, they say Jesus was born in 0 AD, right? Well, the prophet Zarathustra was born in 7011 BC. Or excuse me, 7,000 minus 20, right? It's 7,021 BC. That's when Zarathustra was born. So Zarathustra is over 7,000 years in his story. Is over 7,000 years older than the story of Jesus. And then the remix of the Zarathustrian story, which is called Zoroaster, which comes around the 600s BC, that's 600 years. So 7,000 to 600, either way, they're far before the time that we get the life and times of the biblical Jesus, right? Well, to prove that he took the story from him, Zarathustra, is that Jesus purportedly, or Jebus, dies purportedly in between two thieves on a cross. Where does that come from? It is word for word the story of Zarathustra. Word for word. For instance, in the biblical narrative of the life of Jebus, he is betrayed by a man named Judas. In the story of Zarathustra, he is betrayed, and Zoroaster, he is betrayed by a man named Judas. Oh, we can go on further with Jebus ain't the only one story they took from Zarathustra. The idea of Daniel in the lion's den not getting eaten by the lions. Word for word, not even. Listen, the only word they changed was Daniel. I'm telling you, it's word for word what's in Zarathustra. You see what I'm saying? So they then took from older stories and cultures and ethnicities and spiritual and religious tales, and they amalgamated a text during the Babylonian captivity. But what you got to understand is the people who are in captivity are Jews, not Israelites. How can you be scattered to the four winds of the earth and yet be consolidated enough to create a kingdom? It's an impossibility. Both things can't be true. No, the Jews had a kingdom called Judah because they're Jews. They worked themselves into the story through astrological and cosmological means of these 12 entities or months, now converted into anthropomorphic ancient ancestors. Yeah. Right. It's different when you learn that Levi ain't got nothing to do with the tribe of Leviticus. It's different. You dig what I'm saying? So the story that we get in the Bible is the proof of the usurpation in history of the true Israelites. Israelites never warred, not none. The people that book did. Real Israelites never were in a kingdom. The people of the book were. Real Israelites never gave blood offerings ever. Never offered up their children to a god. The people of the book did. Real Israelites never praised Baal or Yahweh. People of the book did. Real Israelites never spoke Hebrew. People of the book did. Real Israelites never ate meat. People of the book did. They are opposites. True Israelites are opposites of the biblical narrative. It's not what they told us, bro. They lied about everything. Let's cook some more. Hey, I got your boy. I caught your boy looking crazy the other night, man. Shout out to my boy A1, man. But I caught the boy Ankh out there looking bad, man. His comprehension is crazy right now. Salute my nigga Ankh, man. But he was trying to. Hey, C-Law, he said.
Hey, what you? Yeah, I'm about to say what y'all was talking on, yo. What you beat him up on?
And see, it wasn't even my topic really. It was him and Dr. Reggie. They going at it or whatever. They had some words on side, and you know, Reggie think he won, and whatchamacallit think he won. I ain't get to really see it, but I came in afterwards to address what I was hearing, right? And basically, he said Egypt did not have science.
That's what Uncle kept saying.
That's what Ankh is saying. And then he's doubling down, and then he twists it. He moves the goalpost and argues from the other side. And then says it's Egypt didn't, because they didn't have science because they had proto-science. But he doesn't know that proto-science is science. It's just in its early, it's in its earlier form. So and
he be the nigga quick to say like the usage of water through a tube is science. Like, so why would he go against that?
I don't know. And then how can
like his own philosophy?
How can you not be scientific and practicing science if you as a culture for thousands of years are doing brain surgery? The Egyptians did brain surgery, bro. So you trying to tell me they didn't know no anatomy? None. No anatomy, no chemistry, no nothing, no biology, no nothing. They ain't have no science.
That's what he was saying?
I can't make it up. I'm about to play it because they're going to say, Cosmo, you lying. You making it, man. You dig what I'm talking about? He ain't say that, Cosmo. Now, I want y'all to notice it's other commissions. It's other commissions, and I'm gonna go back a little bit before I come on, probably a couple minutes before I come on. So I can show you the conversation I was listening to, and you can see how he's arguing from both sides. The brothers is saying, yeah, they had science, but it's not modern science. And he agreed with that too. But what we're saying is you can't then turn around and compare modern science to ancient science and then say just because they don't have modern science that Egypt doesn't have no science.
Yeah, facts. Can't do that.
It's a false equivalency. So they punching on him right here, but they can't put it right. You know what I mean? They can't get him
who channel this is? Who channel this is? You said
this is Titans Debate League. This is the brother A1.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Good brother too, man. Good brother too. Shout out to the Titans.
All right.
Shout out my brother A1, man. He's a good dude, man. We be up there giggling, man. He's silly too. Real smooth brother. You dig what I'm talking about? I like his style. You dig what I'm saying? He a faithist for real. So because he came up out of the religious mindset on his own. Now you know he just need that. Oh, I be sprinkling it on him. He be like, man, I gotta read that. I be like, yeah, gotcha. As soon as I got you, Creator got you. Boy. Creator got you, boy. You
what's really niggas with the objective reality that.
Mm-hmm. It get
the truth every time.
Right. You get to start pointing at it, seeing it, and it's and listen. I'm gonna tell you one thing that changed my life, bro. Once you see the vortex, bruh, this thing
ain't no unseeing it.
Yeah, you can't unsee it. It's everywhere. You dig what I'm talking about? It's everywhere. It's crazy, man. But this is Uncle Ket, man. You dig what I'm talking about? And then he fronting like we ain't met, like we ain't had conversations, like he ain't came through. But I was on the channel on I think it was one of the pseudo killers channels. I was just in the chat dangling. You dig what I'm saying? And I put something in the chat, and he said, "Oh, there go Cosmon Cal. He with them old waspy niggas, and ha 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 ha, you scamming." So he knew me then.
Right.
I want y'all to see how fake it is. You dig what I'm talking about? That when I get up there, you dig what I'm talking about, to speak to him, he gonna act like he don't know who I am. We done had conversations. The thing is, y'all know me. I'm not letting no pseudo slide. So, you know, I don't, or you dig what I'm talking about. And the first time we was really kicking it, C-Law and them was talking. They been knowing each other. So he was like, "No, this is my man's," and woo, 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 woo. So we ain't really had no animosity, no way. But then he been coming with that BS. So I've been beating up pseudo killers. And you know what I mean? And all that trash he talking about. So it was sooner or later I was gonna end up having to put hands on cuz too. And this is what they not understanding. It ain't gonna look like what you think it's gonna look like. Spirituality different in the cosmos. You're gonna have to prove it. You're gonna have to prove it. You dig what I'm talking about? You just can't, we not relying on the laurels of your God, Lord, and Savior no more. Nor Kemet, nor Suma, nor any deity, man, angel, or God. Right. You made the earth. That's cool.
Even they modern science, although science is still off, because if you go into the origins of creation, Uncle them is gonna go to the Big Bang Theory.
They can't go nowhere else. They don't
Ain't
have
no proof of that.
Cosmogony. They don't have one. They don't have anything outside of Big Bang. Even Kemet relied. They remember Asarium Ka tried to lock the Cometian creation myth with the Big Bang Theory, which you can't do.
And Melly came back and bust that shit down right after that round. Nigga, you got that shit from like Catholic.
Yeah, a German.
Yo, that shit was nasty work. That shit was nasty work. But yeah, I think it's ain't got no objective example of how shit. What example you got? Nobody was there, but what example you got that could demonstrate something that took place when we wasn't even in existence that could be proven in our existence? Nigga, that vortex. That's it. Them spiraling from. Look at the hurricanes, the whirlwinds, the structure of a cellular atom, the galaxies. You can't get around that.
Yeah.
And you see it every day.
It's tight. It's a tight fight.
Like you said, niggas are seeing it, but they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah. They see it every day. They deny it. Or they believe they lying eyes. Like a lot of these dudes believe the horizon is real. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Not knowing it's a trick. Ain't nothing flat.
Right.
Ain't nothing flat, pimping. You dig what I'm talking about? Even water is an illusion of being flat. It's in motion, constant.
Yeah, see, the flat earthers, where they got caught up at is when they try to deny the whole no gravity theory. So by them admitting that there's no gravity, and then when you put zero, what does water look like in zero gravity? That shit is a globe. Them niggas get like, yeah, to your own admittance of your theory, it falls right back into globular reality.
Right. So if gravity ain't real, like you were saying, it ain't nothing moving, because you gotta put that on top of that. They also believe that nothing is in motion.
Yeah, that's the dumbest shit. They tell the earth not spinning, it's still. That's the dumbest shit a nigga ever heard.
So
if you determine, how do you determine life? You determine life by motion. If you see a nigga laying down in the street, he like, oh, is that nigga dead? He ain't moving. Soon as that nigga move, motion, there's life. Like, okay, that nigga, he just raised his leg. He moving.
Right.
So how, you know what I mean? So if the earth wasn't moving, this shit would be dead. Even in health and disease. When I study that shit. Yeah.
It wouldn't exist.
Alkalinity, the higher the alkaline, the faster the cellular frequency, the higher the alkalinity. The slower the pH, which falls into acid, and it starts dripping out of 4.3, it slows down. It's slow. So anything that is stationary and that is not moving is a sign of death.
Right. And moving towards acidity and dissolution.
Right? Exactly.
Let's get into
so these niggas is.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Bring it up.
Right, Uncle Kev was double talking. He was double talking last night. And you know what I mean? Man, it was bad. Here we go. Let's check it out. I ain't gonna put no words in the man's mouth. Hold on. Let me share this real quick.
Y'all crazy.
Playing games. I saw when you put it in there. I saw when you put both of them in there. I seen when you put Sebs in there.
Now I want y'all to notice he arguing with Mansa Hercules. Look who on the stage. Mansa Hercules, Commission brother. Kim Netter, a Commission brother, and Sadiq Ra, a Commission brother. Ankh, obviously a Commission brother. That's A1, right? Cosmon ain't up there. They arguing with him. Commissions is arguing with him. Like, bruh, you off a little bit. But they got what he's saying, but they can't. They don't have the vocabulary to put together to end the conversation, right? So they keep going back and forth with Ankh. And he even debunks his own. Man, it's bad, man. Watch this.
Put the Cambridge in there. And I seen when you had Reggie put his in there. When you had Reggie put his in there.
Reggie, I don't know. Reggie thing took a long way to get to the point, damn, they called it pseudoscience, bro. Like, come on, man.
All it said was that much of it could be. So not all of it. So that means it's a portion of it that is undoubtedly science.
No, it didn't say it was science. It said it was low grade.
Oh my God. It explicitly said that it's science and that it should be in the category of science. It said it a number of times. It said it a number of times. We can go back and
listen to what I'm saying, bro. African science is not science. Proto-science is not science, yo. It's the precursor to it, bro. And that's it. And I had an expert on, and y'all all act like fucking expert ain't say it.
So he debunked this point right there, but he don't get it. He said, science, proto-science. I'm going to just let him say it again. Watch this.
Yeah.
It's not science. Proto-science.
They said it a number of times. They said it a number of times. We can go back and
listen to what I'm saying, bro. African science is not science. Proto-science is not science, yo. It's the precursor to it, bro.
Proto-science is not science. It's the precursor to
There's
science.
the precursors to it.
Right. So you debunked this.
African science. Yo, that don't make no sense, yo.
Yeah, African science. What is African science? What is
African science is not science. It's the precursors. Yeah, what time period are we talking about?
They don't know.
I don't know.
They can't tell
These
time.
niggas just talking. See, when these niggas have these conversations, they got to be specific what time period they talking about. You know what I mean? Like, are we talking about the Nakata period? We talking about Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom? You know what I mean? Like, what these niggas talking about? Where they at with it?
Yeah, where you in the Ubaid? Where you at with it? You dig what I'm talking about? Where you at with it?
And
that was a crazy statement right there.
It's proto-science. African. I'm gonna let him say it one more time.
Yeah, bro, run it back.
They said it a number of times. They said it a number of times. We can go back and
listen to what I'm saying, bro. African science is not science. Proto-science is not science, yo. It's the precursor to it, bro. And that's it. And I had an expert on, and y'all all act like fucking expert ain't.
We agree with that. Proto-science is the precursors to what? Science. It's science. You dig what I'm talking about? Anybody can Google that, by the way. I'm not even about to Google that again. Y'all can Google that up. Is proto-science the precursors to science? Yes. So is proto-science science? Yes. It's just it's just unfalsifiable. It's the observation of nature that's unfalsifiable yet. That's what makes it science, modern. But of their time, their science was cutting edge. So once you put it in this proper, like Sila's telling you, once you put it in this proper time perspective, and then look back and compare it to what's going on around it, then you see that they are the cream of the crop in science.
Because think about it, when you was on the dude channel, when you was on the live with Sada the other day, when the dude was talking about the Sumerian civilization, and you raised the question, what do you think about Mesopotamian influence on ancient Egypt? Nigga, it got quiet for like 10 seconds. I'm like, damn, these niggas ain't up on this shit or what? These niggas ain't said nothing.
Right.
But if we want to talk about proto-science, hold up. If I want to talk about the proto-science, and if the Mesopotamians was there pre-dynastic, where did this science really come from? That's why we got to raise these deeper questions about these time periods.
Exactly. Because we see them influencing the area that would become Egypt 6,000 years prior to that. Heavily,
right. So if his proto-science, right. So who's his proto-example?
Right. It's Sumer. It's Mesopotamia.
And that's when they
already had it in the Ubaid.
Yeah,
they already had it in the Ura.
Right. See, this is why we got to see the time period, because he may go back to the Adams calendar in South Africa. You know what I mean? He may go back pre-Ubaid period. And then we can hit him with, well, shoot, you got to go Benki Tepe over there 12,000 years ago before that.
Well, we got the people themselves, 9,000 BC. That's over 1,200 years before Naphtali. 9,000 BC, we got the Mesopotamian Arabic influx into Northern Africa. That's documented. 9,000 BC.
Say that again.
We got the Arab influx, the Eastern influx of the Arabic people, or the Persian Arabic type groups that from the east into Africa. 9,000 BC. That's 1,100 years before they say Naphtali was around. We already see them already there. Right? And then we still see 5,400 BC all these places are made way before Egypt is even thought about. This 2,400 years before the foundation of Egypt, we already got that. And then by 4,000, we already got the Temple of Anu.
And then not only that though, we can even go further east, because you was touching on something with the nigga. I'm surprised they ain't wrestle with you with that shit, because you was going further east. You was saying like Mesopotamia, it came even further east. And when you look at the Harappa civilization, you know what I mean, in the Indus Valley, whatever, that shit even go further than the Mesopotamians.
Yeah, but what is the Harappan civilization called? What is it in? What is it called? Harappa is in a nation. It's called Kushan. It's the Kush. That's why they migrate into Africa. Eskra. Harappa get bombed out. Where do people go? They went west and become your Meroitic Cush. Not Kish, Cush. This is why they can't read that Harappan text, and they can't read Meroitic. And when you look at the Harappan writing next to Meroitic, it's the same writing. Why? Why do they call them people there Kush or Kushti? Because the Kushti is what the Zoroastrians, it's the headdress and the wrap and the waistband. That was the practice of the Meroitic people prior to coming to Africa. They were Zarathustrians and Zoroastrians.
And that's the dope shit, because it showed you how when you brought it up, you was basically letting them know that the knowledge was coming from the east, coming into Africa.
Yeah, this is why you.
And then we see the trail. We see the trail going back.
Yeah, well, you get the Sun Kingdoms in the east first.
Right.
You
brought that up. Them niggas was like, huh?
Yeah,
he was flying all over their head in that conversation.
The level of knowledge seems to follow the travel of the path of the sun from east to west. Right? And over certain different times, you can see one kingdom is dominating over others and it's going east to west. And every one of those kings who take up on the title of, being the ruler of the world calls itself the Sun King. Every single one of them. That's what Pharaoh means.
That niggas got the shit from the Persians, yo. That's crazy. Persians gave them that shit.
Persians gave it. Shit, somebody gave it to the Persians. Remember, them people that go on to become the Phoenicians and the Persians is mixed up drugs, Mongols, and Iowans.
They end up being the lost tribes when there was in the story of the flood, when them niggas was going to visit each other and they got lost. And they got lost in Persia and they became the Persians and shit.
Yep.
That's crazy.
First butter in the world. The Shepherd Kings.
Yeah, that shit crazy. The Shepherd Kings, yo, that's your whole
Hyksos dynasty. They don't know that the Hyksos, the Lycians, the Shepherd Kings, and the Israelites, the tribes of Iz and Zerl, were in the land that would become Egypt 900 plus years prior. Narmer consolidates Egypt around 3050. Moses walked the tribe of Iz and Zerl along with the Lycians into the land that would become Egypt, right? In 3953 BC, exactly. 2,400 years later, exactly, Moses walked them out. Ain't no guessing over here. We know what. Yeah, the Shepherd Kings are just niggas from the east who were born in Africa, genetically the stock of the Israelites, but acted like the Egyptians. This is why they pastoralists. This is how they become great. And why they brothers don't. And you gotta, in the for real sense, we gotta give an apology to the real Egyptians a little bit. But no, they enslaved them too. We ain't gonna give them no apology. But during the time of Moses and that 430 years or that 220 years right back after the Egyptians, the half of that 430, they were under the enslavement of the Hyksos dynasties and avarice of the north. They're kith and kin brothers. The Israelites and the Hyksos are brothers. They kith and kin.
Right.
They walked into Egypt with the Israelites. They brothers. They had been together mixing 800 years before King Scorpion, before Luther.
Here's the crazy part, because when you read in the Owaspy that the Shepherd Kings or the Persians migrated into Egypt and started the dynasties, and then when you get to Thutmose, now Thutmose is the same bloodline from them Persians that came out. Yep. But then when you get to Thutmose, he's kicking out his own people.
Yep. But why? He was told that if they didn't serve Osir, God as man, and they praised that creator and oppress them niggas or wipe them out. If they wouldn't bend the knee and say, oh, a God instead of the creator, right? This is how, and then you couldn't tell the African from the Negro of the East by looking at them. You could only tell them apart by cultural practice.
Right.
This is why you had to prove the only way that they was proving people was Israelites. They was making them eat meat. Oh, you ain't no Israelite? Well, eat this meat. Yeah, that'll be sufficient that you saying fuck the creator. Here, eat this meat. Niggas is like, hell no, man, I ain't that. Oh, you ate that because you an Israelite. That's how they
just can't even tell, yo. That's crazy.
That's the same thing they did to what's his name? Eleazar. He got up on the rack himself before he was gonna eat that meat. They said, man, just gonna eat this little pork, cuz. Get a little pork sandwich, get a little BLT. Y'all eat this BLT real quick, cuz, man, these niggas ain't gonna kill you. You eat this bologna sandwich. This nigga was like that. He was like, nigga, I'm already old. He said, far be it from me to act like a hoe and go out on my knees and let my young dog see that. It's better that I just die.
Right.
Eleazar got up on the rack. He got up in the rack himself. You don't tell me them real Nazarene Israelites wasn't about it. He put himself in the rack. What? You gotta be a rider when you talking about I'm ready to die. Only reason he would know that is because he was a real faithist. He wasn't scared about what's coming next. No fear. He was a real faithist. He knew better there than here. Better I not tell man, I'm almost 90. I'm almost 90 years old. I ain't never ate no meat. And I ain't gonna start now. Because I know what I'm bound to here, I'm bound to there. Oh, I'm better off just go ahead ending it now. Because it'll be more than 88 years weaning myself off of it. He didn't take a calculated risk. He knew. Why?
Yeah,
he was a real faithist. He wanted the realest things. He was the real deal. And this is why he sent dudes like Selah, like Mally, like Daryl, like me. Because he knew you couldn't never get this BS by us. Never. Boy, we gonna stomp this all the way out. Watch this.
Say it.
We don't believe in white boys, man.
And we don't believe white boys. So how can I have a coherent conversation?
Look, I'm not agreeing with him on that. So don't put me in there with him on that one. But everything else I said, I stand on that because I heard you say it and I heard your argument.
Okay, I understand. Hold on. Do you understand? Okay, look. Go ahead, Hercules. I want to show So
All right,
go ahead.
Fine. So let's be clear on this. Let's be clear. Let's be crystal clear on this. Mm-hmm. This whole conversation about African science, not science, started with me when I was on House of Consciousness, because I went through your channel, and you did not. You guys haven't been talking about this before. I was on Sarnetta. All right.
Your shit was incoherent. Anybody know what you
Stop, man. So
you didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. Hold on. Don't get it confused. No, we're not doing this.
You're not doing this. Don't act like you've been talking about this for a long time. You have not been talking about this for a long time.
Did you forget that I laughed at you when you did that presentation on Sarnetta Joe? You forgot
all you want, but you couldn't.
If he's wrong, why you just can't let him get it off and then correct him?
You know what I'm saying?
What's wrong with that? Huh? Why you can't just correct him if he's wrong? Just let us hear it.
You could laugh all you
get it off. You literally told him to go, Unc, and then he going, and now you cutting him off. Just let him get it off, and then you can correct him if he's wrong.
I gotta just come up here and make up shit, though. I don't be doing that.
How am I making it up, Unc?
Because you forgetting. But keep going.
Okay. All I said was that this whole conversation about African science, you never brought up before I came on the house, before I came on Sarnetta. Now, prove me wrong on that. Show me.
Show me. I've been talking about science for 20 years.
Show me.
Hercules, do you know what your presentation was on?
Yo, again, so here's the whole.
Can I tell you what your presentation was on?
What was the presentation on?
Some wild ass idea about Africans and got a different science, and I was like, "What? You don't nonsense." You was. I was like,
You don't know.
No, you gotta then act like that Africans had something that was totally different, a traditional thing, and the whole magic thing. I was like, you just was wilding, bro. I've been talking about standard science. I don't know what you was talking about. I was there and I laughed at the presentation. So you saying I'm saying, yo, I didn't do my presentation because you did that wild, crazy nonsense. I did my thing because I'm teaching. And that's where I'm at.
Stop.
What you mean? Bro, come on. Go ahead, bro. Because you forgot what you told.
So we could go back because I've already went through your channel.
Went through my channel what?
You have not been talking about African science or distinction of what science is.
Shit, nigga, I never talk about no wild pseudo African science.
You're right. Okay, then stop.
I'm not saying nigga.
Can you stop? Can you stop? Can I finish what I'm saying?
Come on, yo. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna blame you. You know what I mean?
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you never talked about it because you never thought about it. Right. That's why you never talked about it.
Right, because I know
so hold up. So now that we've been showing you that we've been presenting that there's a difference in science and there's approach. Now this whole thing is coming up. So what
I'll say that I don't agree that I don't think he started the topic, but I wanted to hear what he had to say.
No, I did start the topic because my presentation was on Black mathematical science.
Right. What is that?
And I showed that the ancients was doing mathematics and science in a different approach than what Europeans, than what we do today. And so, and what Reggie was saying, and what the paper was showing was that African science is a different approach than what modern science, than what Western science is. And what I was always pointing out is that is not modern science. And we're not saying it's modern science at all. No, nobody said that, but he keeps bringing that up. Okay, and nobody said.
Hold on.
Right, and that's the point, right? Monster brought it out. You dig what I'm talking about? But I'm gonna deny that he doing it. Now we done sit here and watch him say that is proto-science ain't science. You dig what I'm talking about? That this African science is not science, and that Egypt didn't have any science at its time. Now you're gonna hear the brothers agree with him, like, bro, we understand that. You dig what I'm talking about? If you was to say that ancient Egypt has modern science doesn't have modern science, then we would agree, right? But you not only, that's not only a false premise, it's illogical to compare ancient science to modern science. It's illogical. You dig what I'm talking about when you're looking at science in its time. We're not comparing modern science to ancient science, which would be proto-science, right? So that's illogical. You would compare Egypt to the people around it in its time, and you would compare us to the people around us in our time, right? There's modern science, for what we know, for what we know right now, is light years ahead of Kemet, so they say. But science today can't build a pyramid. So we got to weigh that out. You dig what I'm talking about? Was these people as dumb as y'all trying to make them out to be? I say, heck no. So we seeing him argue on both sides. He is saying that proto-science is not a science and that Egypt had science. Had proto-science. But he don't understand that it is science. One. Then he doubled down and says it had no science whatsoever. And that's where big dogs step in. That's where the cloud kicker come in.
Nobody's saying nobody. Hold up. And I think we could just kill the argument if we could just agree that the ancients and African people, they weren't doing Western or modern science at all. They was doing Reket Tehesep. They was doing their own approach to. They had their own approach.
Can we just keep it that way? Can we keep that way?
And so what they were doing was Reket Tehesep. It was a correct method.
Is that's fine with me? I like that.
It was a correct method of calculating. You know what I'm saying? Of what they did of the universe.
And we can see what they were.
Look, if you went into a hospital today, man, let's just say you had a surgery, and then the doctor that performed the surgery on you did a prayer over you after that. Do the surgery then fail, and is it not science then? Because he's not relying on the prayer to fix you. He's relying on what he physically did to you. And then he's just saying some words over. So is that now not science?
Nah, you kind of mixing it up. You probably just got to get
I'm not.
Yeah, you probably just got to get my number, yo. We got to really build, yo. This ain't.
Because look, the people that's in the ancient time that we speaking of, hold on, look, the people that we speaking of in the ancient time, we're not saying that they relying on the hecker to heal them, right? They did
you underestimate.
They use it after the fact, but they do the work on the person, right? First.
They ain't do much work, yo.
Whatever the surgery was done, right? And
what that kind of surgery, yo? They're overwhooping it, yo. It's too much.
So you telling
me? You haven't shown that.
You actually think they was doing the surgery? You think they weren't doing that, yo? I don't like all that.
But the thing is that, like I said before, you have not shown that them using. You haven't shown that them using spirituality. You haven't shown that them using spirituality is a flaw.
I don't even care about all that because the paper Reggie showed. Hold on, the paper Reggie actually showed the man said the shit is far behind science, yo. That proved my whole point, but y'all keep playing. It's okay, bro.
Far behind Western
science. It said far behind modern science. And the response, but wait, in the response of Reggie thing, it also said that it belongs in the category of science and that the person.
And that's how first of all.
Hold on. And it said that the person that wrote this stuff referred to African science in the same context of Western science.
I know, but that's crazy.
That a number of times.
So what about what mine is? What about what mine is actually scientifically literate though.
Man, Ankh looking bad. You dig what I'm talking about? What about mine? This is bad. You dig what I'm saying? Wasn't good. and he's arguing from both sides. You can't have it both ways.
Mine was real technical. I don't care about all that. That man ended up putting the thing in pseudoscience. That's what it said.
No, it didn't. It said that it's possible that it could be considered that, not that it is.
Bro, think about that.
But that's just a possibility, and it didn't say all of it. It said much.
No, it gave a reason.
Can you be honest and agree that it said much of it? So that means that it's a part of it that's excluded from the much that is undoubtedly working, right? Or do you disagree with that?
No, man. Traditional knowledge and wisdom.
Do you disagree with that, though?
I disagree with being
in the response. Wait, hold on. In the response, if it makes the distinction between it and it says much of it could be considered, the part that much of it could be considered pseudoscience, right? It said much of it could be, or later, right? Could be, right? But not that it currently is. Wait. It said it used the word could be. It didn't say that it currently is. So that's just a possibility, right? That's just a possibility. Hold on, but that's just a possibility for the portion of it that's the much. What about the portion of it that what about the portion of it that's not included in the much?
Saying that without saying the statement before that. You frustrate me, bro.
Because it's a portion of it that is not included in the part that could be pseudo.
Hey, it was the statement before that, though. If you keep leaving out that statement, we won't get the context of what it was saying.
What's the statement?
If it's not tested, it has not been tested, bro. It will run the risk of being pseudoscientific,
Right, but that's the portion of it that's in the much.
But don't you get it?
Make the distinction first, though. I do get it.
No, do you know what's been around? How old is that?
Look, if it was in its totality, it wouldn't have no need to make a distinction to say much of it. So the part of it that's not in the much, that means that part is tested and it works.
So you're not understanding? No, it's not. It ain't saying nothing work. Man, listen, bro. Come on, yo.
So what is it saying about the part that's not in the much then?
I'm trying to make a point here. I'm trying to make a point. It is obvious.
We get the part that could be considered pseudo.
But I'm not even leaning.
What about the portion that they're not saying that about?
It's not saying nothing about that. It's saying all of it, though.
No, it's not. It made the distinction.
No, it said all of it needs to be tested.
No, it did not. It said much of it could be tested.
All of it needs to be tested. We got the article right here, yo.
Show me where it said that.
Come on, bro.
Because I remember it
explicitly saying, what are we doing here, yo? What are we doing?
I remember
what are we doing? Here go the paper. Here go the paper, bro. Hey, yo, you gotta share the screen. I know you about to fall out, but I can go. I know how to go. I can go. I know how to just keep going.
You asked Reggie to ask specifically how you wanted it to.
Put it on the screen. Put it on the screen.
The response that you got, it said much.
No, man. First of all, I don't even trust people chat GBTs. All right, they just be saying anything. Yeah, that's crazy. Here you go right here. Let's go right here, yo. Gonna tell you.
So your chat the only one that's right.
Yeah, I got a serious one. Y'all playing. I don't know what y'all got, yo. Yeah, mine 350. I don't know how much y'all paying for y'all. Yeah, 500. I don't know what y'all got. I don't know. I don't stunt none of that. Yeah, I pay the cost to be the boss, so I don't know what y'all doing.
I've been paying for mine, man. I'm the one that's been paying for this, that's telling niggas to do that, but the paid long before when me and you and Rakufu had this conversation. You know I've been paying for mine, so don't even do that to me.
No, how much you paying though? That's another point.
That's beside the point right now.
That's all.
I'm not on no free version. I'm not doing none of that. I got a paid subscription. All right, so I got a paid subscription. Why?
No, yours wasn't in there. I wasn't talking. You ain't in this conversation. You just jumped in it right now. Well, why are you putting yours in there? I'm talking about Reggie. I don't know what Reggie paying for his.
No, you say you don't trust nigga shit. That was like a blanket statement right there. So I had to clarify that I must not be a part of them niggas then.
You know your ChatGPT take on your mind though.
No, because what I do is I tell mine to look for primary sources. Don't give me none of that fluff secondary and give me contemporary sources. So mine and mine's using indigenous terms. I make sure mine's look past calling stuff European labels. I do all that. So I have a whole rigorous thing that I set up on mine, whole methodology that I go through long before I started doing searches. And I can send you mine. And I got a list of scholars from global all around that it pulls sources from, academic places and all that. So
I bet you gonna put that paper in there and read it to us.
Mine is set to the T.
Hey,
I've already done it. I've already done it, and it says the same thing that Reggie said. That
why am I saying something different though? So why am I saying something different?
Because you changed your stance.
No, I say why am I ChatGPT something different?
Because you using the word modern science. When originally you kept saying,
bro,
hold on, let me finish my statement.
Oh, this is bullshit.
You did say modern science, but like I said, in between
always
your
arguments, I never changed my argument, man. Why you keep saying that?
Because in between your arguments, you explicitly stated that they could not have had science either, because the word science is modern.
Right.
But in these responses that we get, they saying that the stuff that they had is classified in the same science as Western science.
I don't care what the Nigerian is talking about right about this point, bro. Because he's saying what we think he's saying. Because I'm reading it right here. Yeah, I don't care what y'all think he's saying. I don't trust y'all. Y'all wild out half the time on purpose. Willfully on purpose. Y'all sit around thinking y'all.
We all got it right here, man.
Yo,
we all read it.
How I supposed to really take everybody seriously? They think they ancient Hebrews, Native Americans, and Egyptians.
I don't think none of that. But I do know the ancient Egyptian traveled and migrated up there from in Central Africa, so they wasn't always just there.
Migrated where? Migrated where?
To the north.
From where? From where?
From the Sahara, when it was the Green Sahara. In that region.
Come on, man, yo. Nah, man. I've been teaching that for over 20 years, just for the record, yo.
So you know that
they came from. Where do you think they came from?
In Egypt, in the Sahara, in Egypt.
Oh, they just sprang up from there?
It's in the Sahara is in Egypt. Been teaching that for 20 years, man. Come on, yo. You know what? I get it, yo. Y'all just be wild. Y'all say the hell with this nigga. That's what it be.
I just wanted y'all to build up the conversation so y'all not coming in blind, because the boogeyman come in a minute, get the kicking clouds in a second.
If y'all just say, you know what, let me like him for one day. One day, let me pay attention to this nut for one day. One day.
Look, I'll be listening to you. You my boy. You my boy. When I disagree, I disagree. And when I agree with you, I agree with you.
How you gonna disagree with me on this topic, yo?
Because you ain't right. You ain't right because you changed your stance. Had you not changed to say the modern science term and since it's modern and all that they don't have it, that's where you killed me at. If you would have just strictly kept saying modern science, then I would have said that, yeah, that's something separate.
Basically,
but when you switched it and started saying since the word science in itself is modern and they didn't have that, that's where you.
I kind of thought you was really studying, yo. I always looked at you. You know, I always looked at you as somebody that really studied. Now I realize you don't. You're on the edge.
You say that about a lot of people when you don't agree. I ain't mad at you for saying that.
No, listen. Hold on. Seriously. I
ain't mad at you for saying that.
No. I'm saying because
that's your opinion.
Because a person that really study like African culture, they don't give a damn about modern science.
As y'all see, here come the boogeyman in the chat right here. So I say, I bring up the great problem that we're going through that the argument is about. I say, but Ankh is comparing ancient Egyptian sciences to modern sciences, or quote unquote African sciences today, right? Which is a false equivalency. Shots fired from the chat.
They immediately say, no, they ain't have it. They had a analysis system that allowed them to build pyramids, have
I agree that they didn't have modern science. I already said that.
No, listen, science period. Science period.
Right there. He said they didn't have science period, and then goes on to say, but they had proto-science. Not understanding that proto-science is science. He debunking himself. He's just shooting himself in the foot. Stick yourself, Tony.
Nah, see, and that's where you see. But you said you didn't make the argument to science period, and here you are doing it again.
No, because they didn't have science, yo.
See, all right.
And I'm saying a person that really study know that you can accomplish building pyramids without any type of science.
Bullshit, man. Come on.
No, I'm not talking to you.
That don't make sense.
I know. I'm not talking to you because I know it's not gonna make.
This is really some of the worst crackpot scientism I've ever heard. To say that ancient Egypt didn't have science because it's not exactly what we have today in modern science. How do you know the sciences weren't better?
Yo, he said they ain't use science to build the pyramids. Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
Oh man, he wilding.
Yeah, I can't make this up. They didn't use no science to build pyramids. Shout out my dog A1. Let me drop the link in the chat real quick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Hold on, I gotta run that back because I heard it last night, but just to hear it again, it's kind of crazy. That they built the pyramids. What do you say that with no science? Hold on, let me run this back a little bit.
See, but you said you didn't make the argument to science period, and here you are doing it again.
No, because they didn't have science, yo.
See? All right.
And I'm saying a person that really study know that you can accomplish building pyramids without any type of science.
Nigga, that's crack pipe logic. What would even, what type of pit of ignorance do you have to be in for the words to dribble out of your mouth that you don't need science to build a pyramid? What? That's not even logic. That's oxymoronic. It don't even make sense. I'm sorry. It don't make sense. False equivalency, illogical fallacy. It's all of those things. That's just illogical. It don't make no sense. Build a science with no. He ain't say that.
Know that you can accomplish building pyramids without any type of science.
Bullshit, man. Come on.
No, I'm not talking to you.
That don't make sense.
I know. I'm not talking to you because I know it's not going to make sense to you. I'm talking to somebody that I know at least read.
You're talking about somebody who didn't take a science class?
I'm not talking to you, bro. I'm saying that you can build a pyramid with high-level mathematics, high-level engineering skills, and tools.
So engineering is not a science? Even mathematics is considered a formal science. Right? Because it gives definitive proofs. It's not like the infallible scientific method. This is why they use mathematics within science, because it is a formal science itself. Mathematics. 2 + 2 is always 4. Can't never be nothing else. That's a definitive. See what I'm saying?
The job done.
That's science.
No, it's not.
Because before you get to that level, hold up. Before you get to that level, you have to do science. You're not just going.
I want y'all to remember the argument.
Straight into that.
I want y'all to remember the argument too, right? Because right over here, hold on. Let me see if y'all can still see that. C-Lot dropped up. Let me see if y'all can still see this. Look what it say in his source. This is a challenge to traditional African sciences. Good enough. Some of what was held to be esoteric knowledge, like herbalism, has been introduced into some universities' curriculum. An example is Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile Ife in Nigeria, We are waiting for other ethnosciences like divination, climatology, voodooism, and he calls them ethnosciences, not that they're not sciences. So even his own source is debunking him, right? They're trying to apply ancient Ife and ethnosciences to modern science and their methods to introduce in schools. It is only when this is done and sustained research done in these fields with regard to its conclusions and achievements that their methods could be laid bare. It is our convention. Well, that's because spirituality and science is the same thing. It is our conviction that the negative aspects would then be sifted off, and the positive aspects could then be very useful in our modern world. Who knows? There may not be any quote unquote magic behind these forms of knowledge, right? The science means knowledge, by the way. The traditional African scientists may only be invoking spirits and deities either ignorantly or to scare people in a bid to be revered, or perhaps these spiritual entities. This is how now they standing for the Africans. He's supposedly an African, but he's quoting the source of a white man who's basically telling you that African spirituality is charlatanism at its best. Are they trying to scare people in a bid to be revered, or perhaps these spiritual entities and forces are the same entities like the modern scientists' subatomic particles, namely electrons, protons, photons, hadrons, quarks, leptons, gluons, etc., and may even have, you dig what I'm talking about? So his own source is not backing up what he's saying, because even in his source, it says we are waiting for other ethnosciences like herbalism to be taught in curriculums and introduced in the schools, just like climatology, divination, voodooism. Climatology is in schools now taught though. So these once ethnosciences or proto-sciences are now being made into true sciences. And what that means is when a thing is made into a true science, and what changes it from true science to, or from proto-science to true and more modern science, is that the proto-science becomes fallible, or you can prove it is either right or wrong, right? It's not like mathematics, which is what proves you right. It is what it is. You got to come up with tests and theories, and you dig what I'm talking about, ways to try to prove what you're saying is wrong, right? And so other people can try to prove what you're saying is wrong too. That's when your idea becomes a science, right? Modernly, but anciently, it is science. Whether you call it ethno, proto, you can put all the O's on it. It's nonetheless science. Divination, science. Climatology, science. Voodooism, science. Herbalism, science. And just because, and look, the problem is that not that the Africans understand it. That ain't the problem. The problem is Western European thought doesn't understand it. So now it's some fake people scaring people. See the leap they make? But look. And then the big brown shark came. Look, there go Cosmo right there lurking in the back. Prince Cosmo. lurking in the back right here. Y'all see the big brown shark over here lurking in the back? I just popped up on the screen.
Man, I was like, Big Bro still cooking, man. CGG don't stop. I thought you would have been. I was about to, come up and double back on what I missed, but you was still live. I said, let me hop on real quick.
Yeah, you dig what I'm talking about? We just, you know what I mean? This is a little Hadouken session. You dig what I'm talking about? Man, the boy said Egypt ain't have no science, and that you could build a pyramid with no science. And then turned around and said, "You got it." He named sciences, and they weren't sciences, but you could use them to build a pyramid. I can't make it up. I got it. Hold on. If you're gonna think I'm lying, they always think I'm lying when I do this. I gotta run it back.
I'm saying a person that really study know that you can accomplish building pyramids without any type of science. Know that you can accomplish building pyramids without any type of science. No, that you can accomplish building pyramids without any type of science.
Bullshit, man. Come on.
No, I'm not talking to you.
That don't make sense.
I know. I'm not talking to you because I know it's not going to make sense to you. I'm talking to somebody that I know at least read.
You're talking about somebody who didn't take a science class?
I'm not talking to you, bro. I'm saying that you can build a pyramid with high-level mathematics, high-level engineering.
High-level mathematics and engineering, right? Engineering is a science, one. High-level mathematics are a formal science.
Boy, what is he talking about?
You build a pyramid with no science, but then he goes on to name sciences that you can use to build a pyramid with.
Yeah, man. Some of these cats just be saying stuff. Don't make no sense.
Here come the big brown shark.
And skills and tools.
I let him talk a little bit.
That'll get the job done.
That's science.
No, it's not.
Box him in.
Because before you get to that level, hold up. Before you get to that level, you have to do science. You're not just going straight into that level. It's science. You go into that level.
It's hard to talk to somebody when they drinking, yo. I can't do it, bro.
No, it's hard. That doesn't matter. You're not understanding that they did research before they even did that.
Man, research don't got to do research and I have science. I don't feel like doing it.
They just woke up one day, it was like, shit, let's just put some bricks on top of each other, yo.
Man, I don't understand why y'all have a need to take it back. You're looking at it from a modern perspective, yo. Are you serious, bro?
And you're looking at it from a European perspective.
Oh, bro, I'm looking at it from an African perspective.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
All right, man. All right, yo.
But Unc, you also argued they didn't have empirical evidence either, and then even in your own response, you said, "All right." If I didn't hear you say that, I'll stop right now. If I didn't hear you say that, I gotta go back and check. I'll stop. Listen, I said I'll stop now. If you didn't say it, we ain't gotta argue about it. It might have been somebody else. It might have been somebody else. I ain't gonna argue with you if you say you didn't say that. But everything else I know you said.
No, you gotta have empirical. You gotta have empirical data to be able to cut the stones and get all that together and transfer it.
So
for 26 years, to build the pyramids, that's empirical data. I've never said that. I got it straight in the presentation. Let me see the university.
But then he doubled down and said you can build a pyramid with no science, and then that Egypt didn't have any science. And then, but he doubled down and switched stances and says they had proto-science, but he forgot that proto-science is science just in its earlier stages.
Yeah, bro cut himself up. He cut himself open.
Yeah, Hadouken.
Hadouken.
That's bad. He get one of these. But here come the big brown shark. We gonna let him play.
Finish him.
Here come the big brown shark. They couldn't pin him down. I'm gonna get him up out of there real quick. Sorry I had to do this to you, Unc, but you ain't been the same since you took them jabs, homie.
Said all right. I said it might have been somebody else I heard. I ain't gonna slap that one on you.
Yeah, nut talking crazy. It said this is a good challenge to traditional African scientists. Let me see. Oh man, what is he saying right here? Deviation comment. We believe the traditional. This is a good challenge to African scientists. Good enough. Some of what was held as esoteric knowledge, like herbalism, has been introduced into the universities. Yep, curriculum. And examples in the OFEMA, Odawa. Let me say Owalua University, LAFA in Nigeria. It say we are waiting. Look, we are waiting. It go. This is the part that I was talking about that the thing was trying to talk about right here. Say about the testing, right? It says we are awaiting for other ethnosciences like deviation, climatology, voodooism, and their methods, look, to be introduced into schools. It is only when this is done, because it ain't done, right? And sustained research done in these fields with regards to its conclusions and achievements that their methods should be laid to bear. Meaning, you should be tested, right? And then the methods that they use should be laid to bear. It is our conviction that the negative aspects would then be shifted off. See, once it gets tested, right? Once it goes through the scientific method and all that and studied, then only then, right? Then only then would aspects be lifted off. And the positive aspects could then be very useful if they find some useful things, right? In our modern world. That's the point.
A European point.
No, man, I'm talking to what's, come on, yo. Trying to make the point here that it ain't been tested. They're not bringing it in universities because they're trying to keep it a secret because it's esoteric, bro.
Because it's a European point of view.
No, that's not. He know what I'm. Come on, yo. Come on, bro.
Man.
You keep being stuck on European thing. It's gonna hurt you, bro. And
no, I'm not. So come on, man. You literally just read. You literally just read.
Can you?
You literally just read the definition.
Hey, Kim Netta, you get my point, Kim Netta.
Hold up, Cosmo, real quick. He literally just read what they was looking for. Was that an African-centered point of view? What they was looking for, or was that a Eurocentric point of view?
You cannot keep bringing that into this.
I'm asking the question. Was that an African-centered or European-centered?
You think it's the white man's science, bro. I can't talk to you.
I'm just asking the question.
It's not. No, it's not. It's what we do when we want to test something to see if it works. That's all it is. It's not a white thing. God dang, yo. So now only white people test stuff. God dang, yo. Anyway, I read the whole thing before Cosmon. Cosmology or whatever the hell. Damn. I don't know your name for real, bro. It's the first time I ever talked to you, yo.
You can read.
It's Cosmon,
first time you talk.
His name, man.
Hey, it's the first time I talked to you, yo.
We've been on the show and everything, but it's okay. Wrong. He up here lying and capping anyway. He knew exactly who I was. That's why he pronounced my name right and then pronounced it wrong on purpose.
For real, bro.
You know my name, trying to be funny. That's why I checked him. You know my name.
Whole thing before Cosmon. Hey, yo, so now only white people test stuff. God dang, yo. Anyway, I read the whole thing before Cosmon. Cosmology or whatever the hell.
You know my name.
I don't know your name for real, bro. It's the first time I ever talked to you, yo.
You can read.
It's Cosmon,
first time you talk.
His name, man.
Hey, it's the first time I talked to you, yo.
We've been on the show and everything, but it's okay.
I might remember.
I know, my homeboy is C-Law Shalom.
Oh, yeah, that's my man.
That's my guy.
Oh, that's my man. Me and his son played football together.
Last time we played football, man. Stop playing.
No, my son, his son and my son. That's not long.
I want to see what they saying about this African spirituality.
I'm saying It ain't.
Because it sounds like dude saying it's fake.
Who's saying this? Yeah, right.
In your source. Put your source back up, bro.
Yeah, what he's saying is it's not up to modern science. That's what he's saying in this whole paper. He said that. He said it all up in the abstract. You go over the abstract, which everybody running from. I don't know why. It said in the damn abstract.
Hold on, go back down real quick, bro.
The abstract said it said it ain't up to par with science.
Modern.
Why y'all keep acting like science?
Right. Because you
yeah.
Why don't y'all get, is it me though? Hold on, bro. Ain't nowhere in the world y'all can't play this
you just argued two different points. Your first point was they don't have modern science, and then you doubled down and said they didn't have science at all. So even in your abstract, it agreed that they had a form of science that wasn't modern science. That wouldn't still meet the methods of modern science unless they brought it in and did the extra testing, right? But it agreed that they had science. And you just doubled down, like I said, and said they didn't have science at all.
You probably should know it's proto-science, bro.
Nigga.
Seriously, like right here, you see this, right? Look. So the conversation actually started with me teaching about this. Some key words here, cumulative development.
From indigenous knowledge.
Yeah, so it's this I started the conversation. Everybody else started playing games. Huh?
What's this from?
This is my presentation that started the whole crazy, wild conversation. And I mentioned proto-science in here. I did this. I said cumulative development of scientific thought across civilizations. Right? So you're gonna have scientific thinking before you even have science. All right, the way you think, the way you manage the environment. You have to start thinking, right? And so it comes from indigenous knowledge. 350,000 years ago, people had indigenous knowledge. They had plants, they had herbs, they had all that. They wasn't waiting for white people to come with science to save the day. They wasn't, right? And it accumulated, right? And I went here next. I said the evolution of scientific thought, a journey from ancient wisdom to modern understanding. Right, we live in the modern times now. Indigenous knowledge, 350,000 BCE to 3,000 BCE. That's going to safely push you into Egypt. Right? It's a early practical knowledge, astronomical observation, and agricultural calendars across diverse cultures. I've been teaching this for so long, I could dive right here and show you an ancient show enough that y'all never ever talk about. Let me see, did I wipe this out? Let me see. Nobody ever talks about this. I've been talking about this for 20 years, yo. Now 20 long years.
I want y'all to watch what he show you. He's going to tell us, he's going to show us an astronomical observatory, and that he's going to prove that these people were making astronomical observations by what he's about to show us, right? And then remember, he gonna say 350,000. Let me walk it back, and then he gonna have to walk it on down to another time, to a much later time in the 100s, and then you just gonna see his source is not saying what he's saying, but yet he didn't talk this 20 years ago. And I want y'all to take clear notice. There is no sources. He Google Doc this all on his own, right? So, yeah, it gets bad.
Right here. Now, remember what I just talked about. I'll go back to here. Hold on. Go back to here. What I say? Early practical knowledge, astronomical observations, right? So can I show you some astronomical observations somewhere 350,000, 150,000? Of course I can.
350,000. You heard it. He about to show us.
I can.
350,000.
Because I've been teaching this for 20 years.
Show us something. Watch.
When the sea saved humanity is the article. PBB13.
It's supposed to prove it.
PP13B. My fault. Muscle Bay, near Muscle Bay, South Africa. Right here. Here you go. Remember, caves. I'm the one that talked about African people being in caves.
Remember, he's supposed to be proving that they had an astronomical calendar.
Right.
Right? He tried to shoo you away from it a little bit, but we on top it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he's supposed to be showing y'all. And then I ain't gonna do too much. I'm gonna just let this play. You dig what I'm talking about? I'm gonna fade to black for a second. Hold on one second. Here you go.
Y'all was running around talking about white people was in the cave. That's a lie. Africans was in the caves first.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Cave today known as simply as PP13B. Put it in your search engine and catch up. Near Muscle Bay, South Africa, sheltered humans between 160,000 to 35,000 years ago at the time when Homo sapiens was in danger of dying out, almost went extinct. Why? Because it was during glacial stage 6. That's an ice age.
I want you to notice before I go real quick. He ain't showed this astrological calendar
At all.
He said, "Oh, you can go down by the hard times, and it's hard by the water, and you can go there by the low, and then it's what?"
Bro, that boy ain't talking about nothing.
Nothing. But then the big brown shark came.
Ice ages affect Africa too. Huh? Ice ages affect Africa too. Wow.
Can you show that?
No, I remember this when you was beating easy bands up with this one. I was there. I remember that.
Here you
go. You said, what was that, 350,000 years? You said a calendar?
No, I can show you one right here, a lunar calendar system at about 160,000.
Yeah, but no, what was that 350,000?
The 350,000 was this right here. I was saying between this time, because this is the earliest Homo sapiens, 350,000, and somewhere in between, right? They developed early knowledge, astronomical observations, that early in time, bro. Somewhere in there, you get it?
You saying, just so I'm following, that they found a man in Africa 350,000 years old.
Yeah. Bones. That's him.
Who?
Modern Homo sapiens sapien.
Yeah, modern Homo sapiens sapien.
Yeah, but they found that blood type. That's AOO.
Yeah, that's another one. That's part of it.
He go back 350, 300.
Yep, that's the early Homo.
That's from a man in America.
No. Ancestors traveled to America with the Homo group.
No, they didn't. His people from
America. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to keep moving. Seriously.
I was just trying to see how you got this in.
No, that's it though. But that's it. But watch this.
I know you ain't talking about the Albert Perry.
Yeah. I don't want to argue that. That's going to take us away from what we do.
His roots go back to Cameroon, man.
Albert Perry is the oldest.
But his roots go back to Cameroon.
Well, man, you can't argue that right now. We can do that next though. Let's separate it. Let's do that next. I think that's proper. So we don't muddy this up. So I'm gonna come right here. This is a marker for me. And I think it'd be either above this or below this. Let me see. And previously oldest example of human systematic use. Okay, the oldest known examples of humans systematically using marine resources date to 120,000, but dating analysis performed by Marion Barr Matthew General Survey. Foraging dates back to stunning 164,000 years. Muscle Bay, hold on. Hold on. The zone, hold on. The harder muscle.
Notice, no proof yet.
Right here. It say the kind of foraging is harder than it might seem. The muscles, limpets, and sea snails live on rocks in the treacherous intertidal zones where an incoming swell could easily knock over a hapless collector. All right, so it's dangerous in the waterways, right? It say along the southern coast, safe harvesting with significantly high returns is only possible during low spring tides when the sun and moon align. Okay, exerting their maximum gravitational force on the ebb and flow of the water. Because the tides are linked to the phases of the moon, advancing by 50 minutes a day, I surmise, I guess,
think, brother, you ain't saying nothing. And remember, you're supposed to be showing us an astrological calendar, a cosmological observatory, proof that these people was doing that other than by sight. Right? The water went down. It was food there. They went and ate it. When the water go up, they leave. You know what I mean? But when that water go down, they come back again. I mean, how does that prove that this is a astrological observatory? So you're saying they built the cave. First of all, they built the cave, and it's aligned. He ain't even saying the cave is aligned right. He's just saying that during certain times, the water go lower than other times, and they go eat food there, and they tested the people and seen that that's what they ate. What are you saying? Where's the 350,000 year ago cosmological? Where's the 160,000, 120,000 year old cosmological observational calendar that you was just up here talking about?
Got him. I do it.
Hold on.
That the people who lived at PP13B, which 160,000 years ago was located much farther inland, right? 2 to 5 kilometers from the water because of the lower levels, scheduled trips, right, to shore using a lunar calendar of sorts. You move this up a little bit. All right. Just as modern watch this, and they know this because it's based off of modern coastal people. So they study the modern coastal people, right, have done for ages. All right, it's important. And this is the full source they was getting. This, and this.
I surmise.
They're your first shellfish eaters. I've been talking about this for 20 damn years. All right. Now, I'm going back to this now. I'm giving more credence to this. All right. Now, I move next in my presentation. Watch this. I moved to proto-scientific tradition from 3,000. Now, y'all can pretty much figure out what 3,000 represents. It represents
a big ass jump.
It's not, yo. Nah, we right here. I went to 3,000. See?
Yeah. Oh, that's a big ass jump right there.
No, that's just time. It's just time, bro.
That's 347,000 years.
I know, yo. So I want you to think about this. That's how long it took to get to that point, yo. See, this is what we're messing up here. It took that long, bro. You might listen. You don't gotta agree with the time. Just understand this how long it took us to get you this stage where you start talking about Egyptian and Sumerian civilization. Now, watch this. The emergence of structured diagnosis, astronomical predictions, right? And rational explanations in early civilizations. We call this proto-scientific traditions. And this one, Reggie jumped out the window. I've always been saying this. Here's my presentation. Classical scientific expansion, 500 to 1500 CE. It said the Islamic Golden Age, 750 to 14 CE. It said the Islamic Golden Age translated, preserved, and advanced knowledge in optics, algebra, and medicine. They was translating the Greek text, the Greek and Persian text. They was called translating houses. I was always moving us towards modern science, scientific revolution, systematic empirical investigation, experimentation, and mathematical laws defined as new era of discovery. Yeah, yo, because then at this point, yo, they bumped into the daggone Americas. So at this point, they realized that, whoa, wait a minute. It's actually more than 3 continents. Modern science emerged 17th century. This is what I was talking about. Right? Institutionalized 18th, 19th century, globalized 20th century present. Institutionalizing of science development, new fields, global collaboration, and peer review. That's what I was at, yo. And I had all the, I don't need the music in there, but that's the only thing I was talking about. And then I killed it with this, and I was basically did you like this? I said, hey, yo, this is a serious part right here, yo. The authority. This the part that most people couldn't get their head around. Hold on. This the part you can't wrap your head around. Y'all, if y'all can wrap your head around this show, y'all wouldn't even fight me. This is, if y'all ain't learned nothing else, yo, this is the most important thing right here, yo.
But it's confusing what you're saying because you comparing ancient Egyptian, what you call proto-science, right, to modern science.
I'm not doing that. Y'all doing that, not me. I know better. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not comparing it to you.
I'm not doing that. It sounds like that's what you're doing, though.
Okay, so you know, I just showed you timeline, though. So we're moving, and it's not even a straight line, but we're moving. So I'm not comparing it to you. You don't supposed to compare it to you. You're supposed to compare Egypt to Mesopotamia, not Egypt to America. It's ridiculous.
So why wouldn't you compare Egypt? You don't have to compare Egypt to anything. You could Egypt stand all on its own.
No. I'm saying if you're going to critique it, deal with its time period. That's all.
But you must admit the point is moot when you already admit that Egypt practices a proto-science because proto-science is science.
No, it's not. It's proto-science. It's just the education on it. I know what it sounds like, but it's the education on it. That's all. It's not a big deal, bro. Like we all get new terms and we got to know how to apply those terms. That's all. I'm not sure if you're religious or what it is, but if you say Jesus Christ, I'm supposed to already know what the hell you're talking about.
But the only problem is you have to show that their scientific method is not the same as
and it wasn't proto for their time. It was cutting edge.
Right. Yeah, right.
And this is why he's mistaking it. And he's
no, I'm not saying. No, I never said it wasn't cutting edge. No, I agree with you. It was past.
Not even chronologically in the right time.
It wasn't even that it was cut. It was more than cutting edge. It was the level, bro. It was the standard.
Why? So why are you comparing that thousands of years ago to modern science?
I'm not. They keep doing it, not me.
You is doing it.
No, I'm not, man.
Until you read it.
So you gotta show. I mean, you have to show
anything. Where's this? This slide is not about comparison here.
This you have to show that their method is not scientific.
This is not. I'm not taunting you, bro. You keep saying something.
You have to show that their method isn't scientific.
Yeah. Listen, I'm saying that the global timeline from indigenous down.
You have to show that their method is not scientific.
That word is essential.
Hold on, you gotta let him get it out, though, bro.
It's called true modern science. I'm not comparing anything. I'm just showing a walk towards science.
Yeah, but your whole point is moot. It don't even mean nothing. What you're saying don't mean nothing because what you're still doing is comparing what they had to modern theoretical natural science.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
no,
are.
I'm not. They keep doing it.
You shot yourself in the foot.
No, you got me confused.
Because what you must understand.
Let me do. I'm done. You teaching me. I can't do it. I can't understand. No, you got
me. In the time is because you keep saying you're not, but then you read everything that kills your whole point.
Hey, one, I'm out of here, bro. I got to
keep wanting to talk over.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying, hey, yo, have a nice day, bro. I appreciate you.
All right.
Hey, Kim,
anyways, like I was saying, your whole point is moot when you.
No problem, bro.
When you walk us from proto-science or the science that was going on in the time of Egypt to modern science, you kill your own self. It's stupid. You wouldn't do that. You dig what I'm saying? You compared the science for its time versus the science of its time. And you compare modern science to modern science. This is why one is called proto and this is one is called modern, because one came before the other. It's not like they didn't have science. It just didn't have the same exact modern sciences, natural sciences that we have today. They had engineering, anatomy, chemistry, mathematics. You dig what I'm talking about? So we can't say that they didn't have science, they just had early versions of it.
I'd say they didn't have it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then he shoot himself in the face again when he say, proto-science ain't science.
Right. Let me see. The only problem is that I have is that he has not shown. He never. They never showed that.
And he made that shit up himself. That whole doc. He. That's
his own document.
Google doc. He did that up himself. He ain't have a source to first on there.
Yeah, his own document. Yeah.
And then he didn't show us no calendar. For $350,000, he showed us one for $160,000. And then his own source said they could be probably
right.
That was garbage, man.
I wouldn't even have a problem with his argument if he stuck with modern science, because of course they didn't have modern science. But when he doubled down and said they didn't have science at all, that's where you lost.
You just sticking your foot in your mouth. You spitting in the wind.
Right. And that's the thing I've been pointing out to him over and over and again. It's like, yo, you have to show us that their method of science does not equal science, period.
At first he said he never argued that they didn't have science. When I made him remember when I brought the King J point. He said he didn't say that they didn't have science at all. Then he doubled down and said that they don't have science at all again. That's what I'm saying. See, you making two different arguments now, like.
And look, just simply, y'all, anybody can Google this. Proto-science is just the early version of science. It's the same thing.
Right.
Just a quick overview. You could wiki this. Proto-science is generally considered the earliest developing phases of a science rather than established science itself, often operating at the boundary of scientific inquiry. It uses existing knowledge to form hypotheses and gather data, but often lacks complete empirical testing or falsibility. It differs from pseudoscience by its willingness to adapt or become established science. So proto-science is just the early stuff that they didn't have all the numbers on yet. That it don't mean they wasn't practicing it.
They would, yeah.
And it don't mean that they were coming out with incorrect outcomes. They were doing brain surgery.
Yeah.
And that's why I gave an example. Like if you go and get a damn surgery today in the hospital and then they pray over you after, is that considered Hecka and it's now no longer science? Like, or what? Come on,
man. And what they don't understand is what the dumb, deaf, and blind don't understand is and can't get out their way to see is that spirituality and science are two sides of the same coin. They actually do the same thing, literally.
They complement each other.
I'm not saying that they complement each other. I'm saying they do the same thing. Science tries to explain the unseen causes behind the scene. That's what science does. Spirituality tries to explain the unseen causes behind the scene.
Right.
There are two sides of the same coin. You can't split science and spirituality.
Right. Yeah.
But all right, y'all, man. Peace, man. I'm gonna get out of here, man.
All right, yeah. I'm about to roll out too. All right, yo. Good job, man. K1, yo, hey, Cosmon, good job, man.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't make no sense. I know I was hearing him right because he was double talking. He was saying, they didn't have science, they had proto-science. Well, you just admit that they had science. So then he was saying they didn't have no science. That was the killer. I could go with the part that they didn't have modern science, yeah. But you dig what I'm saying? They had some sort of science, right? Can't Nam one of y'all build a pyramid. Nam one. Nam with two A's. dig what I'm talking about? They can't even tell me what they fought. So
all right, A1, yo, I'm out, yo.
Yeah, so I hate to have to do like that. Dig what I'm saying? But the brothers wasn't formulating the conversation correctly because they was allowing him to switch back and forth through timelines when you can't compare the ancient, which is proto, to the modern, which is the new stuff. Okay? You compare Kemet to what's around Kemet at its time. Nobody is saying Kemet had modern science. You dig what I'm saying? Nobody is even making that argument. So why are you comparing ancient Egypt's science against modern? Then double down and say you ain't do it. Then double down on that, triple down, but change across the street and say they ain't got no science. But your proof as in to why you saying they don't have no science is that you're saying they have proto-science. Proto-science is the earliest versions of science. That make your head hurt. That's right. You got me going in circles. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, round and round. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. They like that old waspy, that spirit get to moving. That's right. Let's go ahead and vibe out real quick, and we're going to go ahead and stab out real quick. We let a couple joints rock, man. Y'all know what I need y'all to do, man. Breathe in. Let that light in. Hey, man, I'm Cosmonian, man. Kyle kicker, man. Y'all know the gang is up in this thing, man. Everybody talking about gang, gang now. Huh? Don't know what gang mean. You dig what I'm saying? Big facts. We was talking gang, gang way before everybody else. You dig what I'm talking about? But salute to the Creator Gang, man. Those who standing by the Creator. Love, light, balance to all y'all out there, man. Let's keep rocking a little bit. Salute out there to the undergrads. Kev Capone got this thing slapping, man. Thinking about the heavens. Is it a prison or is it paradise? Why do they got gates in heaven? Huh?
Golden Gate shining. Golden Gates. Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise? Somebody explain. Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise? Somebody explain. Scriptures describe it with the towers of gold. Angels positioned where the gateways unfold. Trumpets announcing the arrival of souls. Guards at the entrance maintaining control. Crowds moving forward in obedient course. Names getting checked before crossing the doors. Peace is proclaimed while the soldiers remain. Still every entrance is locked with a chain. If nothing but goodness exists in the land, why are there armies with orders to stand? Why would a kingdom of infinite grace need golden gates at the edge of the place? If evil was banished beyond every star, why would a border be needed at all? Something about it is starting to show. Heaven might not be the freedom they told. Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise? Somebody explain. Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise? Somebody explain. Prophets described it as cities of light, kingdom suspended in heavenly height. Crowds gather close where the rulers remain. Thrones and dominions declaring their names. Soldiers assembled along every wall. Weapons prepared if the trumpet is called. Marches and banners that circle the throne. Armies protecting the ruler alone. Kingdoms divided by borders of flame. Gods in the heavens competing for reign. Watchmen observing the regions beyond. Anything moves, the kingdoms respond. If heaven is peaceful and nothing can hide, why would an army be standing outside? Why would a ruler need sentries and gates unless there is war in the heavenly states? Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise?
Somebody explain.
Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise?
Somebody explain.
Oh, I be revealed how the heavens were made. Gods built dominions where spirits were caged. Souls that believed they were rising in grace never could see they were sealed in a place. Leaders appearing as radiant guides, quietly ruling the souls at their side. Borders surrounding the luminous plain, holding the multitudes under its claim. Gates regulating the movement of souls. Who can approach and who never can go? Crowds celebrating the promise they heard, not recognizing the trap in the words. Ages could pass in the comfort they know, praising the rulers who never let go. Look at the gates and the meaning appears. Prison disguised as a heavenly sphere. Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise?
Somebody explain.
Golden Gate shining, but the questions remain. Eyes wide shut as they praise in the name. If heaven is perfect, why the locks on the frame? Prison or paradise?
Somebody explain.
Golden Gates, 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 Golden Gates.
Jehovah said, by virtue of my presence, I created the seen and unseen worlds. And I commanded man to name them. And man called the seen worlds corpor, and the unseen worlds is. And the inhabitants of corpor man called corporeans. But the inhabitants of theirs, he sometimes called their sons and sometimes spirits, and sometimes spirits, and sometimes spirits, and sometimes spirit, and sometimes angels. And Creator said, I created the earth and fashioned it and placed it in the firmament. And by my presence brought man forth a living being. I gave him a corporeal body so that he could learn corporeal things. And I made death so that he could rise in the firmament and inherit my Etherian worlds. The Spirit gave dominion over corpor, with his eye filled all place in the firmament. But corpor I made into earths, moons, stars, and suns. Beyond number I made them, and I caused them to float in the places I allotted to them. As I divided into two parts, and I commanded man to name them, and he called one Etheria, and the other atmosphere. These are the three kinds of worlds I created. But I gave different densities to atmosphere and worlds, and different densities to the etherian worlds. For the substance of my etherian worlds, I created eth, the most refined. 50 out of eth I made them. And I made eth the subtlest of all created things, and gave it power and place. Not only by itself, but also power to penetrate and exist within all things, even within the corporeal worlds. And to eth I gave dominion over both atmosphere and corporal.
So y'all want to say that the brother won? Y'all can say what you want to. Y'all voted the way y'all voted. I ain't hurt.
King Selah Shalom, another victory. Hail meet the king, cause that's what it tend to be. War child got crushed, I took him out his misery. Swing swords cut his vocal cords quite sufficiently. Zion under my feet, met his defeat instantly. Trying to compete, run a retreat before you mention me. In the Coliseum, I got eyes on my enemies. In mausoleums, I'ma leave them for coming centuries. Headshot fatal, couldn't recover from his injuries. Bloody gore, ligaments tore, did him vicious, gut him to the core. Give him some more, straight consistent, settle the score. Cause I'm for sure another victor. Cut through Zion like a knife, decapitate, take life. Put his head on the altar for the ultimate sacrifice. For years you've been living lies, following the myth in the sky. Greco-Roman theology through Ethiopian eyes. You just as blind as Christians who thinking Jesus is why. Truth in front your face and you seem they can't get it right. Jah Rastafari, not gonna save your life. Real killers move in silence, in the shadow at night. The sleeping giant awoke, you know it's been a while. Coming out of hibernation, hungry, thirsty on the prowl. When the conquering lion growl, it echoes about a mile. I'm the real god of war, this nigga just a war child. Sacrifice him to his god, now his soul's immortal. Walking through the valley of death on brimstone tile. Zion wanted smoke, got suffocated by poison clouds. If you can't take the heat, get the hell out the kitchen now. Standing on my square, I'm here to retain the crown. This debate Coliseum, I'm bringing the building down. 2 years ago, we told you a new sheriff was in town. Battle of the holy books, bitch, we backed you niggas down.
Woo! Man, it's hot up in this case, man. Yeah. I feel good right now. The atmospheric, green skies, the gang coming. I be in and out, so leave that thing running. Purified is preferred. Higher frequency, a higher bird. I observe on a different nerve. Breaking codes, I am the yoga. Deadly as a Ruger, straight and the shooter. Out the holster with this mudra, inoculation with the wisdom. Creator shake my prism and hit them with those schisms. Reason turn the light up. Y'all disappointing like 9 to 5 and some write-ups. Something rearranged, let that boy cook. Organization 33, stay up in them books. Lead them boys shook. 46 divided, yeah, I'm Fort Michael. It was only rifle that I came up in this cycle. They say they gangsters, but they telling it. Step outside, take off my shoes and let the sun hit my melon. Had to be learned that the herb beat the medicine. It's the same matrix, so who you think you better than? Perfect.
Woke up this morning with no attitude. There's a song in my heart in gratitude. worry. Got money for war, but can't feed the poor. So I roll up. So I roll up. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Negative thoughts don't stand a chance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Meditation is my dance. The ever presence told me to wise up. Take the gang and rise up. No heroes, no leaders, no egos. From where the blues play to Cali, USA. That's dreadful, but in a good way. Celebrate the creator on today. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Negative thoughts don't stand a chance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Meditation is my dance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Negative thoughts don't stand a chance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Meditation is my dance.
Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all. Y'all, we in the book of Suit. And the trumpet sounded, every shadow withdrew. False crowns cracked, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all. We in the book of Suit.
When the crowns fell silent and the kings all died, Jehovah's son came forth with a lamp at his side, illuminating every cycle through a cosmic script. Who walked the path of light when the night got thick? Patterns came back around like a clock reset. A lesson for the ages you ain't seen yet. The covenant endured while the nations wept. Remnants kept the flame while the false ones slept. No soul abandoned, no heart left alone. The light freed man from the Game of Thrones. Prophets warned early how the dark would act. False lords fronted hard till the heavens collapsed. But the faithful held steady when the chaos grew. For they were branded by the mark of the Creator's truth. The prophets kept record of the things they'd seen and how the Father's voice had restored the dream. When the trumpet sounded, every shouted, false crowns crack, crack, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all, we in the book of Suit. When the trumpet sounded, every shouted, false crowns crack, crack, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all, we in the book of Suit. Nations rode high on the serpent's spine, but in time they all fell with their tails entwined. Empires brag heavy on their gold and stone till the cycle spun it back like a replay mode. Sue logged centuries of tears and strife. Rise and decline, yo, the pulse of life. When the prophets got silenced and thrown aside, then the plagues came down and the false lords died. Temples fell quiet and the idols broke. Shadow lifted upward like a rising smoke. He revealed the holy blueprint of Jehovah's design, where no king prevails and no souls confined. He sparked creation's rhythm in the arc of time, reconstructing worlds that the false maligned. He etched that law eternal in the planetary spine, setting newborn cycles in a perfect line. When the trumpet sounded, every sounded, false crowns crack, crack, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all, we in the book of Suit. When the trumpet sounded, every shouted out, false crowns crack, crack, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all, we in the book of Suit. When the final cycle opened and the veils unrolled, Sue rose speaking truth that the prophets told. He walked through lower heavens where the false grew bold, turning counterfeit crowns back to dust from gold. He traced Jehovah's line where the arcs unfold, correcting every kingdom that the night controlled. He breathed new life where the ages got old and shattered every myth that the serpent sold. He raised the nations upward from the fear they hold, guiding lost generations to the shepherd's fold. He lit the path of dawn with a lamp of gold till the remnant stood firm and reconstructed the code. He weighed the fallen heavens on the scales of old, dividing truth from lies, whose eyes could see souls. He tore the veil from
heaven, where deceit enrolled, revealing every single oath that the secrets hold. When the trumpet sounded, false crowns crack, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all, we in the book of Suit. And the trumpet sounded, false crowns crack, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all, we in the book of Suit.
And with that being said, man, we're going to get up out of here on this one. But I need y'all to breathe in. Let that light in. Because I'm Cosmon, and I'm out, man. Y'all go over there to Silver Tone Music. Silver Tone Music. Sub, like, share, man. This is this hot flavor right here. Shout out to Cosmon Goddess, man. Shout out to the Cosmon Goddess, my sister. This is flavor. Let's go.
Everything meets me where it's I wake up with the sun on my skin. Check the stars, yeah, I know when I win. Numbers talking every time I move. 111 saying trust the truth. Copper wrapped around my energy. Crystal sing harmony. With the crown, yeah, I'm balanced now. Every block just broke itself down. I don't force, I attract. Every cycle brings me back to myself. I'm a goddess, I'm glowing. Everywhere I go, I'm knowing the universe been showing me love. I'm a light, I'm chosen. Intuition in my motion. I don't chase, I'm open to love. Yeah, my life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was built for this position. Yeah, my life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was built for this position. Astrology map my lane. Saturn told me patience through the pain. Chakras spinning clean and wide-eyed. I feel my power when I decide. I don't question why I shine. And the frequency was always mine. From the ethers to the ground. Oh, I speak truth, bring it loud. And I remember who I am. Light encoded in my everywhere I go, I'm knowing. Yeah, my life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was built for this position. I no fear in my walk, no doubt in my tone. I speak things alive, then I leave them alone. I'm not lucky, I'm tuned. I don't beg, I commune when the veil gets thin. Oh, knowledge.